Oh shit. Wait a minute. Did I fuck. I didn't do this. Oh, hold up. Oh, fuck. I set everything up, right? Alright, that's fine. Oh shit, it didn't reverse itself. That's backwards. Hold on, let me fix that. Let me fix that. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't think I can fix that. Video. Where is it? Background. Soundboard. Big guy. Where is it at? Nope. I'm gonna have to do it the other way. Hold on. Let me do it this way. Let me see. Hold on, Chad. Let me do something. Because I see, right? Because resistance is backwards, right? Like you see everything reverse. I don't know why it does that, but I figured out how it does it. I just need to do this.
Well, hell, I can't even get. I'm playing online on YouTube, and people can't hear my voice. So
there you go. Boom.
I'm like,
there we
I
go.
don't know what's going on with this. So.
There you go. That's better. There it is. Bam. All right. So everything's good? Like nobody can hear your voice? Hey, everybody can hear Craig, right?
Well, yeah, I'm talking about on YouTube when I was gaming. People were like, "Oh, we can't hear you speaking." I'm like, "Oh my!"
You were gaming on YouTube? Oh, you did. You did a stream?
Yeah.
Oh, on your
Helldivers. Yeah.
Oh, via your PlayStation?
Yeah. I have no idea why.
That happens sometimes. I remember that happened to me, or people heard me, but they couldn't hear the person. Well, that I think is because of the settings, because they could block. There's a settings that allows you where your voice can't be heard on another person's stream if you have it set that way. So if somebody streams while you're playing with them, whatchamacallit, nobody could capture your voice on their stream and stuff like that. All right, good, awesome. All right. Oh, shout out to everybody. Hey, welcome my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. Your only friend these YouTube streets, Porter Rock 77. And we are back with another 60 frames, no lag podcast. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm glad you're here. We're gonna talk all things PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Nintendo, all that good stuff. We got some good topics today. Hopefully the rest of the crew trickles in. Hopefully, you know how he is. Everybody's fashionably late. That's just the charm of the podcast. Some people could call it unprofessional. And you know what? And I wouldn't gig you on that. But we're organic. We're natural. We keep it gutter. You know what I'm saying? We keeping it real. You know, it's like if we had, your MTV Cribs, I wouldn't be showing you the mansion. I would be showing you the projects. You know what I'm saying? This is how we live. I ain't gonna show you no mansion and like 10 kitchens and bedrooms that I don't actually use. You're gonna see the projects. You're gonna see the urine in the elevator. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna open the closet and you're gonna see wire hangers. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do here. It's the realness, I'm just playing. I'm being stupid. Hit the like button. Thank you so much for rocking out. And if you can, please share this out on your favorite social media app, wherever you like to communicate, and let people know and be like, hey, yo, check out 60 Frames No Lag with your only friend is YouTube Street Porter Rock 77. Because it's the realest show ever with the best chat ever. You know what I'm saying? But truly appreciate you guys hanging out, right? And of course, for now, we got Craig, University of Kentucky. He's up in here. Everybody, keep your thoughts and prayers to Craig because they're going through it over there. They got tornado warnings. You all right, Craig?
Crazy. Yeah. We're under flood watch, tornado watch, and severe thunderstorm watch right now. So, that's why I keep peeking over the back of my shoulder because I heard thunder. I'm like, oh, hell, well, here we go.
Oh, shit. But take comfort in knowing that if this is your last moments in your life, you spent it with me. No, I'm playing. That's fucked up. Greg is like, what the fuck? He's like, no. He's like, no. I don't want to die knowing that the last thing I did was on the 60 Frames No Lag podcast. The hell is that? I want to drink some bourbon. Some good Kentucky bourbon if I'm going to go out. You know what? You know what? Hey, listen, if if you got Kentucky bourbon, pop that bottle right now. This is, you are more than welcome.
Yeah, if I didn't have to work in the morning, I would. So.
Hey, tomorrow's not promised today. Tomorrow's not promised today. You might not have a hospital to go to tomorrow.
That's true, unfortunately.
No, I'm playing. Man, I'm dark. I'm sorry. Let me not joke. Let me not joke about that, man. No, in all seriousness, I hope it's like one of those warning, but nothing really happened. Maybe a little heavy wind, some rain. People get over it. Hopefully, it's nothing major, and hopefully, you guys go through. Everything's fine, man. I wish pray for the best and stuff like that. All right. Okay, so what you been up to, Craig?
Just getting settled in and moved and kind of getting settled in, moved some stuff around. I moved some stuff around. Yeah, I ended up staying in my same apartment, but I'm kind of rearranging it. So,
were you thinking of moving your apartment? Were you thinking of moving?
Yeah. I had set things in motion to move, but then it didn't. This is where I'm at. They came down in their price, so I'm like, all right.
Oh, nice. You were like, listen, so you doing Donald Trump, the art of the deal.
Pretty much, like, listen, pretty much.
I'm moving. All right, we'll bring the tariffs down. All right, there you go.
Yeah, they brought it down. They brought it down just enough. Yeah, they brought it down just enough. So,
all right, there you go.
But yeah, the gaming, playing Helldivers and Stella Blade, and
I heard there's like a huge update to Helldivers. What was the update?
Yeah, we're going. They have Super Earth, I believe, being invaded, and mine updated today. Yeah,
so you actually play on Super Earth now.
Yeah, which is what people were wanting to have happen anyway. So they got to it, and it's all that stuff they update is free. You have to update your game, but that's free, and it hit today, tomorrow.
Yeah, everything they charge is optional. Like all the stuff is optional that you want. It's not necessary.
But we're gonna be playing it this weekend. Me and J-Dub are gonna be playing it this weekend. So anybody wants to join us, just hit us up either Friday or Saturday. I assume we're gonna be playing Friday or Saturday. But Stella Blade, college football, playing that still.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Oh, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 from Game Pass.
Are you playing that? Yeah. Oh, on Game Pass.
Yeah, playing on Game Pass. So,
on your Series X?
Yeah, on my 5090, exactly.
On the 5090. Oh my god, terrible.
No, on my PC. Yeah, on my PC. So
wait, on your actual PC or on your console?
I've got everything. Yeah, I'm playing it on the PC. I've got pretty much everything. I've got it on either ultra or high. They still don't do a good. They don't do a good job with the hair. They just can't get the hair right with their characters. But it's still fun to play. And it's happening during the first Gulf War, Desert Storm. So that's you going back to that, because I remember that broke out, was watching that on TV. So I was like 14, 15 years old. So it's fun. It's not a bad game to play. It's not bad.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Good to know. Okay. Oh, look who showed up.
At the right time.
Oh man, yeah, man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got a retired 4-star general multiplayer. He's looking for a new position.
No.
His resume is out.
Talk about that.
His resume is out. There's nothing, bro. There's nothing else left, bro. You got nothing. You got nothing, bro. Listen. You got doged. Elon Musk came in and doged you, son. You got doged, dog. It's over. Listen. I do have an opening. I do need senior leadership because I'm starting a war against the corporate fanboys. I am looking for
you are the only
senior
one
leadership
who said this was a war between us. So I don't mind lending my talents to you. Okay, I have time. Okay, while my troops are getting ready again, I've got some time. I can give you some help.
It's not in the budget. It's not in the budget, dog.
You'll see. This isn't going away anytime soon.
Okay.
I don't mind doing some pro bono work, earn some money on the side. Everybody's got a side hustle, Even generals have to.
Right now, now you have your camera on, so I know you're like laughing, trying to hold it in because this is miserable. You have to admit.
You know what I'm doing right now? I'm
the shit ain't looking.
skin.
This shit is not looking good, bro. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
No. Hold on. This is exactly what I said was going to happen. I said, out of these live services, at least 6 are going to be cancelled, and the other 3 are going to fail. This is the plan. This is going according to the plan.
Everything's going exactly how it's predicted.
Everything is going exactly how I told you it was going to go. So I don't know why you are distressed. Okay?
Sir, I told you we were going to lose the Battle of the Bulge. We're losing France. We're losing everything. It's going exactly. The war is exactly going exactly how I predicted.
Exactly going.
Everything is failing.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Listen. Listen. I did plan for failure. You've got to know where you're going to fail so that you can prepare for that inevitability. Okay. And I told you, the troops that sent me weren't good. What did I say about fair games this entire time?
You said,
what did I say?
Nah.
What did I say about fair games?
You said send them back. You said send them back.
Exactly. Well, there you go. So I don't know why this caused distress. People want to act as if we didn't all see what fair games was.
Now, let me ask you this. If Marathon flops, what like now let me ask you this. At what point and I get the whole do it until you completely fail. Let's be honest. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, that's not really gonna happen. So that's okay. But at what point do you think but at what point would you be like, okay, we're done? Like wrap this shit up. At what point would you say to yourself, like, and I get your philosophy, keep doing it until your heart gives out. But in reality, at what point do you, like, all fanboy, all gaming aside, you start looking at it and be like, what would be your point to where you would say, Sony, you're done. Just you're done. All right, whatever.
Let me tell you when the point will be. When they create a genuinely great game, but the PlayStation fan base doesn't want it. That's the one. That's Concord. The point where there is something. No. Concord, there had things missing. Like I told you this again. I told you this.
I'm fucking with you. Concord.
I told you this. Okay. They've got to when they come out with a genuinely great game, and the PlayStation fan base is like, no thanks. That's the time to pack it up.
But how do you know? How do you know the fine line between? That is genuinely a great game, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of a hard metric to decisively gauge if it's a failure.
I feel like
how can you tell? How can you tell a game? Yeah. How can you tell? How would you be able to tell a great game that just failed because people don't want it? But yeah, it's a great game. How can you be able to tell that?
Okay, so first of all, I think that it's not a objective thing. It's a subjective feeling. It's a hunch, right?
Okay.
And if I get these hunches about games where I'm like, you know what? Even if this isn't for me, this is going to hit. For example, Marvel's Rivals came out. I played a few rounds of it, and I was like, I hate this game, but people are gonna love it.
But you knew.
I was just like,
okay, so that's a hunch. So for you, it's a personal 100%. Hunch that you can identify. So if you say, oh man, this game's going to hit, and nobody hits, you'd be like, yep, okay, wrap this shit up.
Or if I think it has the potential to hit, and then I'm like, the temperature in the room doesn't seem like people are leaning towards this, even though I can tell that it's a great product, then I'd be like, yep, it's time to pack it up. Like, people just don't want this from you. Like, from anybody else, they will give it a go, but from you, they decided.
Sony tax.
Yeah, exactly. You know what it is like? It's like when you go to that like office meeting, and then there's like people have bought food and everything, and then there's this pie in the corner that everybody's raving about, and then you find out that it was like your arch nemesis that made it, and now you're like, nah, fuck that pie, no matter what.
Fuck that pie. Fuck him. All right.
You know, just I'm not doing this no matter what. I don't care how good it is. No. Listen. This is something that I said the very first time. 12 live service games Half of them were going to get cancelled. That's happened. And then the other half that was released, half of those was going to be cancelled again, taken off the market. That's happened. Now, the question is, does Sony get smart? Because one thing that I've always said is, first of all, fuck the live service strategy. Nobody wants live service games.
You want the basic multiplayer strategy.
I want multiplayer.
That's what you
That's
want.
always what I said. I always said
like the old
I'm here
school.
for multiplayer.
Old school.
And then what I always said is that PvE is criminally underserved. People love PvE. Every single live service game that Sony has tried that has catastrophically failed is PvP. PvP is oversaturated, and I don't know why people keep thinking that people don't want to play against other players that much. You take a look at MMORPGs. How much of the population in there is actively hardcore PvP? Usually it's less than 10%. And yet the industry is so focused on this 10% people. There's plenty of people that want to play multiplayer. They don't want to play against other players. It's more stressful. It requires more skill, more balancing, more of all of the shit people don't want to do. Again, take a look at MMORPGs. People spend hundreds and thousands of hours. How much of that population is going to actually go with the PvE and never touch PvP? More than half. So it just shows you.
Good point. You made a good point because, believe it or not, MMOs don't get chastised like, oh, great, another MMO. Yeah. I just noticed no one has problems with more MMOs. So you might be onto something. No one has an issue with more MMOs.
I've been pointing at the right direction this entire time. It's PvE. Take a look at Helldivers 2. What is it? It's PvE.
PvE. Yeah.
People, even Ghost of Tsushima Legends, people came out and they loved it. What is it? It's PvE. People want more PvE games, and they can be more unique, and they can be designed in a way that lets you go. Right? Ghost of Tsushima Legends, no one was like, oh my god, this thing is a grind fest. People can have fantastic experiences in PvE. You know, spend a little bit on skins if you want them to, spend a little bit on battle passes if you need them to, and then they just move on with their lives. And they can have unique experiences.
Let's see. Let me make that a poll. What type of live service should Sony focus on? Okay. PvE, PvP, and then I'm gonna add both. Like PvE games, PvE base games. What would it be about? PvE base games.
Yeah.
PvE type or PvE type games. What would be better to say?
You know what? People don't understand the conversation. They've been listening.
I'll just put
PvE
right.
And PvP.
Yeah, PvP and both.
Yeah. And then obviously there's Marathon that tries to do PvEVP, which is a unique, kind of a thing in the wider landscape.
I'm not doing all that. PvE, PvP. I'm gonna try that one. All
PvEV, SVAV. Just have all of the alphabets.
Must contain 1 and 35 characters. Oh no, click this off. All right, so start poll. All right, so there's the poll. Pretty much it's gonna ask, if Sony is to continue this live service push, where should they focus their energies towards? PvE priority games, PvP priority games, or a mixture of both? Let me know. Let's see. We'll see at the end of the show what you guys got. Right? Glassdoor Gamer. Doom is yet another flop on Xbox Hype Train. Oh man, this guy's quick. Glassdoor Gamer is real quick on that one. Loud. All right, brothers. All right, let's get into the pod. The topics. Let me try to find a topic. But apparently,
just one thing before we go. I just want to make my point one last time. People, listen.
All right.
Concord PvP failed, right? What does it try? Fair Games PvP going to fail, right? The Last of Us Online PvP failed, right? Twisted Metal that they rumored were going to come out, that was going to be PvP, failed, right? Helldivers 2 PvE successful. So I feel like I have enough,
you have a strategy. The Empire Strikes Back. You could come back.
There you go.
You can make a comeback.
And the whole time I've been saying it. I've been saying PvE is criminally underserved. And think about it. How many people are providing PvE experiences in the third-party sector? Because that's always what your argument has been. Your argument has always been, leave this multiplayer shit to the third party. But most third parties aren't providing PvE. You know?
True that. Good point. Good point.
So it's like there's a thing here no one is serving. So yeah, anyways, we can go on to the topics now.
Right. Hey, we got a super chat specifically for Craig from Brandon Holiday style. If you know, holiday style. But it said, he asked, Craig, will you play against me in CF25? I'm Noel Hader. Ooh. He said he could whoop your ass in college football. That's what he's saying.
Friday or Saturday. Yeah.
He said he could whoop your ass. He's going to make you run back to Mass Effect.
Well, that'd be fine. You know
what I'm saying? He's going to have you select the I'm crying option out of the choices. Well, he's just going to beat your ass so bad, they're going to call you Anthem because you gone.
Amen.
Damn. Holiday style.
I make it beat as bad as K-Mega lost to
he said
Black Baron and Madden.
He said Bean John, red dot. Don't be scared. Shout out to Holiday. I turned this into gang culture. He's like, what the fuck? I just want to play college football. I don't know where all that came from. All right. We got a new member to the 60 Frames No Lag family, DE. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for coming through. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'm glad. Glad the content, said, you know what? I'm a rock with Puerto Rock. I really appreciate it, right? Henry, wait, he didn't write that. P-Rock is instigated. Everybody's looking at Brandon Holiday like, is he saying all that? Like, damn, yeah, but I could feel it, though. I could sense his emotions. He's looking at you, dog, with eye twitching. He's like, who's Chocolate Thunder? Pick up the sticks. All right, it's on. All right. Oh, shit. He's coming for you. You better stream that shit. I want it streamed. Holiday, don't let him not stream it. The world needs to be witnesses. What he said? Stream that shit. All right. We want college football. All right, brother. Okay. Let me put this on the screen. One of Extreme Star players. Apparently, things not going well for team multiplayer. We got an account from Blue Sky or Snowcast Social. That's it. That's your star player, dog.
Me. That not with me.
They do. It's like, bro,
I've disavowed Bungie for the longest.
So who do you have in this war?
I don't want them.
Who do you have?
I'll get someone else. I'll get someone else.
Who do you have?
No. I'll find someone else. I'll go find someone down the street. I'll go find someone down the street.
That's what you have.
Me. Nah.
You got looking for gamers?
Yes. Yeah. Look. Let's fucking go. That. I'm gonna go with them.
They came from Bungie.
Even though I think they're making a single player game, aren't they?
No. You know what's their project? Looking for games and making a multiplayer.
That with me. I'm not with Bungie.
All right, but you know what their project name is called?
Gummy Bears, wasn't it? Yes. I'll take that over Marathon.
So hold on. So your war strategy is not based on Operation Overlord, or not Operation Saturn Strike. Yeah. It's based on Operation Gummy Bears.
Yes. Yes. We'll take them. I'm not taking Bungie.
I'm going to turn myself in for war crimes. This is too easy. I'm going to just turn myself in. I'm like, you know what? I overdid it. I'm going to go send me to the Nuremberg trials.
I'm not doing Bungie.
I'm going to just be like, listen, we don't have to have the whole trial. Yeah, it's me. I did it. I massacred them. Just put me in jail. It's me. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I thought they had weapons. I didn't know they had spitballs. They said they had weapons.
Yeah, they did.
They have spitballs.
Yeah, they did have spitballs. I told you.
What the fuck is this?
I told you the weapons were not given. No.
You were like this. I'm like, This is disgusting.
Yep.
All right.
Then you turn the
anyway.
M16s on them. I'm sorry. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm good with it. I'm good.
He's like, they deserve to be wasted for being this stupid.
100%.
They deserve it.
Yep.
They deserve it.
Yep. I sent all the degenerates your way. Thank you for cleaning them up.
You said. Oh man! Shout out to Dumber 76 in the chat. He says I'm with Portorock team single player all the way. Oh man, this is so funny. But all right, so it says right here, as a former Bungie employee. So this is a former Bungie employee who worked on Marathon. So this is Spirit. This is his account. As a former Bungie employee who worked on Marathon, I feel for those still at the studio. Working with engineering, Marathon leadership was extremely toxic and humiliating. I won't speak about the rest, but Bungie leadership needs to be gutted completely. And it said, just from the quote tree, it says, former Bungie employee who worked on Marathon says Marathon leadership was extremely toxic, humiliating, and Bungie leadership needs to be gutted completely. All right. Apparently, there's also feedback within Bungie right now. They're not like company morale is down low. I guess they're receiving a lot of negative feedback, from the play test of Marathon, the alpha test, and some of the issues apparently that was being mentioned fed back to them. Apparently, some of the developers in the studio already knew this was a problem and mentioned it to hire, and they got ignored. Which, so like morale is, so it's like one of those, like if you worked on something, right? Like, let's say if us three worked on something and we bring it to hire, like, hey, this is not going to work. Like, blah, blah, blah. We said something and we get ignored and get told, no, do it anyway. So we do it. Yeah. We send out the alpha. Then we have all the content creators, the fans of Bungie, they play it and they come back and tell us, hey, this is a problem. And we receive it and we're like, yeah, we knew. Like, yeah, no shit. Yeah. We knew this was a problem. And now we go back to the leaders like, told you this was never going to work. And now apparently there's some morale issues, right? Another thing I learned, and I don't want to be a cold East or whatever, but apparently before Sony bought Bungie, and this is not Sony's fault, but the original pitch for Marathon was to be more like Halo. And what I mean by Halo is a robust single-player campaign with a robust multiplayer campaign. They wanted to go back to that with Marathon. They wanted to tell a story. Marathon was supposed to be a story, a single-player story. Because originally, Marathon was a concept before Halo. They had Marathon like on PC or Mac, whatever. Then they went to Halo. Now, when the original concept of Marathon to come back, it was supposed to be a robust single-player with characters, a hero, or actual world, and a robust multiplayer with it. So kind of going back to the Halo formula of amazing single player and amazing multiplayer, but more robust, obviously, right? Because of the live service strategy. It was actually the top leadership said, no, they're going full-blown live service. And they were like, so they scrapped, well, not even scrapped, they never even got the opportunity to begin the single player endeavor. It became live service, right? And then so far what we got right now. So with this, right? I'll say this. Holistically, Bungie was a $3.6 billion investment by Sony. And one of the biggest reasons is their expertise and ability to, help, shape live service games for the company, which probably you can say didn't end up too well because we only got held up.
I mean, listen. People always think that it's just the leadership that people bought, but you know what? Maybe one engineering department speaks to the other engineering department. Remember that it's not just the leadership people that they have access to. It is also the talented developers behind it. Maybe it is still, I'm not saying that it's worth it, even though you know that every single penny of that was worth it to me to save Naughty Dog, right? This is what I've told you. I've never been against
That's about it. That's about it. That's so far the only good thing.
$3.6 billion to save Naughty Dog.
To save Naughty Dog, worth it.
Worth it. Worth it. Easy. Spend more.
That's about the only thing we got. They let Naughty Dog know, that ain't gonna happen, Chief. Yeah. $3.6 million. There you go. Consulting firm.
Yeah. There you go. But no, when it comes to the actual purchase, it was always oversized. Right?
They overspent. It was too much money for that.
Way too much. The reason that I do not count Bungie as part of anything to do with me is that first of all they're not even on the PlayStation. They are trying to do their own thing on the side, and I think that is incredibly arrogant to be like, okay, we're going to be besides you guys, but then I mean, $3.6 billion. They're worth as much, if not more, than all other PlayStation studios combined. I'm not sure
Probably
if
so.
Sony yeah, if Sony was to sell each studio individually, would they come up with $3.6 billion? Like, let's say they sold Naughty Dog to Microsoft. Like, I don't think that's gonna go for $1 billion. Like so they are a sister company, but then they decided on top of that to add to the pain. They say, "Oh, we're going to release multi-platform on everything anyway." So that means that PlayStation gamers have to have a game that is designed to work on the Series S. I'm not standing for that. That's not happening. That's not with me. So no, I think that Bungie was always a very strange acquisition, a very strange set of parameters. And then the only thing that gives you hope is that they had a clause that said like, hey, if you guys fuck up, we're going to fully absorb you into our thing. And that's exactly what they should do. That is the only thing that might actually have something to come out of it. But yeah, no, like the moment I saw they were going to publish on everything, and I was like, wait, so your next games have to work on the Series S, even though you're part of Sony? That's ridiculous. No, fuck that.
Okay. All right, Craig, what do you think about this? Like, this is Sony invested a lot of money into Bungie, right? And things aren't looking too hot for them, right? So, what do you think about this? What happens if Marathon flops?
I've said this multiple times. Sony, the year they bought Bungie, had set aside $20 billion for mergers and acquisitions. So I believe, I mean, because before they drop that kind of money, you know what you're buying. There's a reason why Jim Ryan put a poison pill in that purchase, which is if things start going, start getting shady, we'll be able to come in there and take over the company, which they already did. The first step of that is done. So they already did part of that. So they just have to go ahead and activate the rest. But if I don't think the game is going to flop. What I think they're going to end up doing is I think they're going to put that game into PlayStation Plus Ultimate day and date. And because Sony's new management is Sony PlayStation's new management, I'm sorry, they have said publicly they're more concerned with MAUs. So they can go ahead and put that game into PlayStation Plus, the ultimate one, and the ultimate tier, and that would by default people would start playing it because it'd be free, and so that would help that game. So I don't think it's going to flop, but I don't. Those games are going to fail because fundamentally they haven't changed since 1996. It's just you're doing the same thing. You're playing capture the flag. You're trying to play against everybody else. There's nothing new. And so as far as the overall what they're trying to do, I said this before. They had an absolute right to try to create another revenue stream. So if that revenue stream fails, let's just say it fails, they're going to raise the price of their games, which they've already said they're going to do. And I thought it was hilarious with that guy from, is it 2K? Was it 2K or wherever he was from? Those are the same people that do Grand Theft Auto. I think that's out of the same type of studio. I don't know if it's a sister studio or something like that. So they literally come out and said, yeah, you're going to pay $80. And that's why I keep telling people, Grand Theft, you might as well get ready to pay $100 for Grand Theft Auto. Because that's where the market will be by the time that game comes out next year. So, but I don't think Marathon will flop. I don't play that type of game anyway. But I do like the Helldivers 2 game because you get to run around and shoot missiles and stuff. That's actually pretty cool. But I think it's unfortunate that we're at a point where, and what it seems to me on my timeline, is you got a group of people, because they're not getting the online games that they want, they are literally out here bitching and moaning for everything else to fail. The 2 games they wanted were 3 games. They wanted a Killzone multiplayer, which Killzone was trash. They want a Resistance multiplayer, but I never played Resistance. And then they want play something called Factions. And Factions was trash. All you did was run around and shoot people, and that's all you were doing. Like this game, these type of games haven't changed in 25 years.
You can have trash. That. You can have that. You can have that. Hey, Extreme, you got that.
Nah. Did you just say Factions was trash?
It was trash. Oh, well, in a sense that, let me make this clear. The game mechanics I heard was really good, but you're not.
Well, what do you mean you heard? Did you play it?
Oh no, I can't play it. That game was trash. So I mean, I've been playing.
Wait, how do you know it was trash if you didn't play it?
Because it's just like every other thing that it's just like it. I've been playing that game.
No, it isn't.
It is.
Factions. No. Factions genuinely had its own pace, its own goals, its own way of doing things.
That's like every other game before it. It's the same thing. You're just running around and shooting. I didn't say it's not entertaining.
You genuinely did not run around in Factions. That was literally the worst way to play it. Well, you have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, no, maybe so. That was the worst way to play it, but that's what I saw people doing. Like, well, this is like Ghost Recon from 1997. We were playing it. So,
wow. Okay. Again, you know what, Craig? I love you enough to let this go.
Okay, fair enough. So, but now I don't have to see it. Like you said, Extreme, about Starfield. Like you said, you knew Starfield was trash, didn't play it. Well, I know Factions, I didn't play it. I'm like, this is trash. So I agree, But at the end of the day,
but the only thing is that you're wrong.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, Ryan put a poison pill in. They're going to ultimately take over. I look for Sony to drop that game day and date into the service, their highest tier. That way they get automatic engagement. And people who are railing against the game, not buying it, fair enough. It's your consumer. But I don't understand why it's like I didn't get what I wanted, so I want everything around me. This is what I'm seeing on my timeline, okay? I didn't get what I wanted, therefore I want everything else to fail.
Okay, but I'm just going to say this, yeah? To say that Factions plays like every other game is like saying Death Stranding plays like Call of Duty. Like, I'm telling you, that's how vast it is.
That's how vast it is. Right, fair enough. I didn't play it. I just looked at what I saw, and I was watching like...
You should go back and play it, because it's still good.
My can is too
still offers something unique.
Yeah, my PlayStation won't boot up trash games. I mean, it just won't. Like, it comes up with an era, EA, something like that. So, but that's just mine, And ultimately...
Wait, hold up. Didn't you play Mass Effect Andromeda?
Did I play Andromeda? Yeah, it was trash.
But you played it.
PlayStation can boot up trash games.
It was trash, yeah. I said that game
Factions isn't a trash game. It's just...
It's trash. You just run around, heal people. Well, somebody needs to come over. I'm going to stand over here by this car, and I'm going to shoot this person. And then you call
That is literally... everything you are saying is so far removed from reality.
I don't think you're talking about Factions.
Yeah.
I feel like you're talking about Borderlands or something.
Sounds like Faction. I think you're confusing Factions with other games.
No, this was Factions. People were running around, turning
from The Last of Us. First of all, you don't run in Factions.
You don't run.
Literally the worst
thing. That's what I just said. There were people standing behind things talking about, I'm going to stand over here and I'm going to shoot at that person.
No, you don't do that. Kill me. Like literally, the whole thing about Factions is you keep moving, because when you run, you appear on the minimap. And you don't have a lot of like durability. There's a lot of like fake armor or whatever. So it's like, and then if you are near your team and you run, now everybody knows where all of you are.
Yeah,
you know. And the maps are small. The maps are not very big at all. And there's things to pick up on the map. So people are moving and encircling each other all the time.
Yeah, we did the same thing in Ghost Recon. If you move too fast, I mean, this was from 1997. You move too fast, that gives up your position. Same thing. Like I said, it's the same thing that we've been doing. That's a lot of the issue with these games is that fundamentally they haven't changed for 30 years. They're different mechanics. You can do certain
listen, Craig. Just leave the Factions thing alone, because I'm telling you, it's like saying Death Stranding plays like Call of Duty because
you also had Don't we have Battlefield coming out at the
point but Battlefield and Factions play nothing like each other.
Well, that's fine, but my point is that there's another big dog, so to speak, a big fish coming out with Battlefield has its own has its own group of, has its own fan base. So, and the other game that EA did was Apex. That's done pretty good, I think. So overall, yeah, I just think that I think they're fine. I think them and Bungie are fine. Because people don't understand. Sony set aside $20 billion for mergers and acquisitions, and they spent 3.6 of that 20 billion on Bungie. So they didn't spend all 20 billion. So
but that's the conversation, right? Like because
but wasn't that Sony as a whole? First of all, that was the entire Sony. That wasn't just PlayStation.
Yeah,
that was Sony. Sony
as a whole. Yeah, but
Sony spent the 3.6.
Yeah, and I think the whole year Sony spent like 9.7 or it was something like that because they bought some other small movie studios overseas. That's a different podcast. That's fine. But my point is that Poison Pill was in. Herman Holtz last year at the big meeting they had last March or April, whatever it was, said they had finished or just started to finish incorporating Bungie into Sony. So yeah, I think that my understanding is they're going to drop Marathon into that service and possibly go ahead and start working on Destiny 3. And so we'll have to wait and see if they do it. But whether it was they overpaid, underpaid, I don't. Again, there's no way to know. That's subjective. Objectively, I don't know what their metrics were for success. And just like I don't know what they are for failure. But Extreme's right. If the game blows up in a bad way, doesn't do well, you could just expect, you can expect more changes. So I hope it does. And I hope it does, as well as the Apex Legends game. That game's not doing gigantic, but it's doing fine. It's got a nice little niche. So maybe they could come up with something like that. But I don't blame people. They don't understand the same people who are rooting for the games to fail are also upset that the other games are going up in price. Well, what did you expect? When they try to create a new revenue stream, you bitch and moan like a girl. You don't support it. Fair enough. That's your choice as a consumer. But they're going to go get the money from somebody, and they're turning it on to, and Sony has said it. But it's like somebody saying, I'm going to come to your house at 5 o'clock and hit you in the mouth. They're like, yeah, our games are going to go up too. Now, they haven't gone up yet.
They didn't say the games are going to go up. That was Xbox.
Their games are going to go up.
Yeah, I mean, they could, though. They could.
Yeah, they're going to go by the end of the summer because, again, that's when they have enough supply of PlayStation 5s to get, according to Sony, to get them to the end of summer. So mid-August. So when their games start coming out in the fall, after I think Ghost of Yotei, I think you're going to start seeing it. I forgot Ghost of Yotei is early fall or something like that. So right now they could always move.
I think September.
When we get to Soros, when we get to Soros, is that 20? Yeah, I think those games are going to start hitting.
If Soros is $80, that game is dead in the water.
You think so? Okay,
fair enough. Absolutely. Returnal barely made it at $70. Yeah. This is the conversation we gotta have, right? Just because a company says I'm charging this for the product doesn't mean it's actually worth it, right? Because the consumer's going to be demand. That's why I find it funny, and I will segue this into the next topic with Borderlands. I'll make sure I reorder the title, but Randy Pitchfork was that dev, right? He's the developer of Borderlands 4. In fact, I'll put it on the screen. We'll segue into that because that's a good topic. So Randy Pitchfork says, someone asked him like, hey, he's the head developer of the studio, so don't make your game $80. You have the power and influence. So Randy Pitchfork replied to that tweet with A, not my call. So he's saying he's not the one that gets to determine if a game is $80 or not, or stays at 70, right? So that's the first part. And then B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Prismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. And that's his reply. Okay, that's his reply, right? And that reply, if I were to have a conversation, right, with him, I'd be like, cool. How many other $80 games you bought that year? He probably didn't buy another $80 game for the whole year. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And what I'm saying is, like, so for me, and I would like to hear your guys' thoughts, but for me, right, how can I put it? There's only so many. Let me use a soccer term, or European, the world football, for the world in terms of that. only so many players can talk that talk as if you're Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. Other players on a soccer field can't talk like them. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're going to talk like that, you better be that dude. He's not that dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Borderlands 4 is not that game to be like, yo, you like our shit, you're going to pay $80. Like, no, motherfucker, you Borderlands. Like, who the fuck is you? Grand Theft Auto 6, okay. Hell, they could be even charge 100, and you be right. People will pay 100. Madden, they probably could be 80. Sure. NBA 2K, they probably could get away with 80. Sure. Call of Duty, you probably going to get away with being 80. But you think Ninja Gaiden 2? I mean, Ninja Gaiden 4? Yeah, that's $80? Yeah? Ninja Gaiden 4 could talk that shit? Hell, even the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, a lot of people ain't buying that game at $80. Only certain, like, we just listen, and this is, again, we do it to ourselves. Why are we treating gaming different, like a different industry, consumer industry, compared to any other industries? It doesn't work. You don't see Honda saying, we're going to start selling our cars at Bugatti prices. They don't do that. They know their lanes. They know their product. They know the window and the value of the worth of their product. It is not equivalent across. Just because they have an engine and 4 wheels doesn't mean they all get to be the same pricing across the board. It doesn't work that way, right? Sure, they're all video games, but not every video game gets the standard pricing and be like, oh, yeah, if you're a real fan, you'll buy our shit. That's not how it works. Sorrow's not going to. It's not. Housemarque don't make $80 games. They don't. They're not that studio. They're not that studio. No one thinks of Housemarque as being, oh, yeah, their games are worth $80. It's just not. They're not that studio. They're not, you know what I'm saying? They're not the Grand Theft Auto 6. They're not the Call of Duties. They're not the 2Ks. They're not even a Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog might get away with it. Maybe. Intergalactic $80? That's going to be interesting. We'll see how many fans of that are willing to spend $80 on a Naughty Dog game. We'll see. That's going to be interesting, right? The next Santa Monica at $80? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? If Insomniac, Wolverine, $80? Probably. But the next Ratchet & Clank? No. Just because it's made by the same studio, Ratchet & Clank is not going to sell at $80 the way Wolverine would sell at $80. No. Not even close. You see what I'm saying? So to me, it's a game-by-game basis. But for us to have this conversation and carte blanche think that the industry is owed $80, I don't know. Maybe one of you guys could take it over. But this is me. Video games is no different than any other consumer product. Yes, I enjoy it. It's my hobby. But you got to create a product that I want to buy at the price I want to buy it. I'm cool with playing games for day one. But do not talk to me as if you are owed this or it's an automatic decision. Or if I choose not to do it, oh, you're not a real fan anyway. No, you're just going to be broke. It is what it is. You're not going to hurt my feelings. So I don't understand this conversation of and this is why I said we kind of did it to ourselves with the talk of support the devs and all this weird shit. Like everybody treats devs as if they're dependent or something. Like, you could write them off on your taxes. I don't know what's going on. But to me, not every dude can talk like that. Like me, Borderlands, you talking like your game is worth $80? Really? Okay. Good luck with that. We'll see if your game is that game. We'll find out. I don't know. Extreme, what do you think?
Listen, I've been saying this for the longest. While I agree with you that he's not that dude, what he does say is true. In this sense, a company can charge whatever they want. I've always said this. A company, you can charge whatever you want. And then myself and the market, we're going to pay whatever we find acceptable. And that's where your point comes in. As in, listen, yes, what you're saying is technically true. Charge 90, charge 100, put 150 on, right? But here's the thing. People are going to choose and are going to tell you exactly what it's worth, because eventually it's not going to sell at 150, and then it's not going to sell at 100, and then it's not going to sell at 80, and then you're going to find out that your price was actually 40 because it's going to be bought at $40.
Yeah, and we see now all the time. Like Days Gone. Days Gone was a big victim of that. Perfect victim. People didn't buy it at $60. Even the developers said it. That most of the sales of the 7 million did not come at $60. It was when they did the price drops to 40 and 30.
Exactly. And that's why I always say to people, like, you guys have this romanticized notion of Days Gone, and I love Days Gone. I absolutely do. But the way that it came out, it absolutely deserved to fail. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's like people want to be like, I always say to people, like, my money doesn't need to be patched. Like, people are like, oh, we just needed a few patches. And I'm like, yeah, my money didn't. So why does the product that I buy do? Like, yeah, you come out and you are broken as Days Gone was. Yeah, you deserve to fail. Like, what do you mean? And people get angry at that. They're like, oh, gamers should have bought it, would have been patched anyway. And I'm like, well, then let me pay you the rest when you give me the rest of the game. You know, let me polish up my money when your game is polished. Like,
you know, every update you give me, I'll give you $5. Right?
Yeah,
we'll start at 30, and then we'll work our way up from there.
We'll start a pack this shit. You know. No, like it's ridiculous. Listen, the thing is this, right? The game companies have a problem in gaming because it is the only hobby that I can think of where a product gets cheaper over time, but it also simultaneously gets better over time. So in fact, a year later, they have put more work into a product, right? And then they're charging less for it. And they hate that. They must hate that reality because it doesn't make sense. There's no, like, imagine if, like, I don't know, Toyota released a car, right? And then they kept updating the car and upgrading it, but every year they were charging substantially less, like 20% off the price, and then 20% off again, and then 20% off again. So you buy the car 3 years down the road, it used to cost $100,000, now it's like $30,000 for the same brand new car, not the second hand, not the used product, not a dealership demo car, no, like a brand new from the factory, just like it used to be in year one, except it's had all this extra work. That doesn't happen in pretty much any other industry. So here's the thing. Gamers have, say, substantial amount of power over their market because you can just wait, right? Unless you're on Nintendo, in which case, you know, you just do whatever you can. But you can just wait. So that all of the power is with you.
He said, there's no waiting for Nintendo. It's just
Listen, that's why I said that Wendy.
You can pay $80 day one, or you can pay $80 year three.
Exactly, but you're paying the $80.
It's $80 with Nintendo.
You're gonna find a way one way or the other. That's why I said that Wendy. What he said,
or wait till somebody else pay $80 and rob them.
There you go. There you go. Either way, Nintendo got the 80. It doesn't matter what
they got the 80.
So that's what I'm saying. But he told the truth. Right, even if you're not happy that he's the one to say it, but it is true for Nintendo. Nintendo is like, hey, straight up, we've been saying this. Like, yo, they're like, hey, Mario Kart, $80, do what you can, but we're gonna see you when we see you. But you're giving us that money, right? You know, and guess what? If inflation goes too high, they're gonna put that price up. They're gonna be like, hey,
oh yeah,
yesterday's price.
It's not today's. Today's price is not tomorrow's prices. All right,
there you go.
Craig, let me get back to you. Let me do the super chats real quick. Liquid Data with the $10 super chat, and he said, like I said on Gaming Grindhouse, it's not that Sony is making live service games; it's the games they are trying to make. They are chasing trends instead of making their own lane. That is a good point. I think I don't see, I'm going to be honest, some of these choices that they're making, I don't see like the Sony Blue DNA in it. It's almost as if they're trying to copy, like, where's the Sony DNA? Like, if you're going to do it, do your own thing. Show Sony DNA, PlayStation DNA in these products and not carbon copies of somebody else. Think out of the box. You know, I kind of like Helldivers is a great example because it gave something when people saw that, the first thing they thought about is Starship Troopers, but there was no game that's like Starship Troopers. And then when Starship Troopers finally got on board, they didn't even replicate their own style and play. You understand? So Sony went after something that was new and just different and showed that this also, is, you know, so that's a good point.
It was the same concept as Helldivers 1, by the way. Like people
and also that it really was Helldivers 1. They just elevated it to a third person shooter. Yeah. So that's a good point, right? Jimmy Harrison with the super chat. Thank you so much. He says, always damn good to see you guys. And it's always damn good to see you up in the chat, my brother. Thank you so much for coming through. Liquidate again with super chat.
Let me add. Oh, go ahead, my bad.
Okay, go ahead. Add to what? Add to Liquidator's comment?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's nothing new. That's what I've literally just said. That playing games online.
So let's stop. Factions is a unique DNA.
I'm just saying
you know what? I let you get away with this nonsense. What you're doing, you're being too ambiguous. Because if you want to argue the point you're making, then everything hasn't changed. Horizon Zero Dawn, you're climbing some shit, you're shooting some type of bow and arrow. Mass Effect, okay, you make a decision and you fucking alien. Like, I could do that to any game at any of its core gameplay, the way you're describing multiplayer. Like, every game hasn't really changed since the beginning. You're gonna walk, you're gonna press a button to do something, you're gonna open a door, you're gonna use a gun, you're gonna open a drawer and pick some ammo, you're gonna take some type of medicine to recapture your health, you're gonna make a decision that pisses somebody off and make somebody happy. That's just generic gameplay. That's every game. There is no game that is unique to anything. And across any medium. Like your complaint is too generic.
No, RPG.
And you know what's funny? I'm sorry to call you out, but you have some nerve, given that you're playing college football, which is just version Madden. It's fucking Madden with a different name, and they sped it up.
No, everybody who was playing college football knows that game changes every time you go up.
It's a guy who grabs a ball, runs up the field. It's another guy who says hi, and he throws the ball. Another guy catches it, or maybe another guy stops you from catching it, which is called the interception. And then they run the opposite way, and they score 6 points. And then the team that has the most points wins. And then they go through a tournament, and the tournament is a bracket called the playoff. And then whoever wins the playoff goes to the championship, and then whoever wins the championship wins the whole thing. Nothing changed since like Tecmo Bowl, right?
Well, Tecmo Bowl technically is different, but overall, like I said,
do you not throw football? Wait, hold on. Tecmo Bowl, you throw football, right?
Yeah, if you could, yeah.
And the field's 100 yards, right?
It's supposed to be, yes, on your TV.
Yeah, and you got 11 players on offense and 11 players on defense, right?
Yeah, I believe Tecmo Bowl had all.
Yeah, and both games have like a quarterback, a running back, wide receivers, and you're supposed to pick an offensive play to do something, and you pick a defensive play to do something, right? That's how it goes. So nothing changed.
His point was that where's Sony's DNA? No, where's Sony's DNA? Well, they can't have DNA when everything's already been done before.
But let me ask you this. But Madden, whatever's in Madden has already been done, but it's Madden for a reason, right? And even you said college football is different than Madden. You just said that, right?
It is. Yeah, it is. It plays different.
Exactly. Even though they're both football, even though they have the basic similarities that, technically speaking, hasn't changed in decades. You got formations, plays, running backs. You throw the football, say hike. But when you actually play the game, there's something individually about the game itself that plays different. But you would have to play it to notice the changes of other games. So you would have to play college football to actually know how it's different as compared to playing Madden. Because, like, for example, if you play Factions the same way you play Ghost Recon, you will absolutely fail. If you try to play Factions the way you play Ghost Recon. You know what I'm saying? No, that's fine. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, if a person tries to play college football like the way they play Madden, they're probably not going to be good at the game. If they still have the Madden, if they don't adopt the college football 25 mindset and the way it plays, if they try to come in and play the game with the strategy they do in Madden, they're probably going to get rocked because it's different. Even though it's a football game still a football game, and that's what M is trying to. But that's why M is trying to say.
I understand that, but the game still has it. You are running around. You have your headset on, and you're calling in the B2 and getting one-man army. You do this at every game that you play online, which is fine. So, but that gentleman's question was, where's Sony's DNA? you can't have their DNA when everything has already been done. That's the reality.
Factions had the Sony DNA.
It had the DNA. That's what we're trying to tell you. Like if you played it, you would understand this is different than Ghost Recon.
Like my PlayStation
you're not understanding. But this guy don't get. Just like you have to play college football. I think so. Now he knows. He just don't want to give it. He don't want to take the L. He don't want to take the L. He don't want to take the L. He's not taking the L. He's not. We got goals. Here go. Let me do the super chat. We fish up.
Did someone say $100? $100 games.
I've been saying that for months.
Listen. Do not try to make the gaming industry into Ferrari. It just doesn't work. Gaming is for Hondas, all right? It's the Honda industry, okay? All right? Liquid Data. The super chat says, I agree with M. They should take it over, and Marathon is already a flop. Ooh. I want to ask something about that, right? Yeah. All right. Gordo P23. Craig, don't ever disrespect factions in your miserable life. Oh, snap.
You don't have to. The people that created hold on. The people that created factions canceled it because it was trash. So I don't have to disrespect it. The people that created it said, this is trash, we're not going to do it. So I don't know what I mean, you have no legs to stand on. The people that created the game said,
you're gonna get the people to kick you out of this podcast, bro.
Oh man.
Hey, how many privileges did you give me over here? Can I kick him out over here?
I'm gonna have to create a corner room. Like you're in the corner. Like send them to the room. I'm gonna have to implement that in this podcast. Yeah. Like, listen, we're gonna $50 and I'll send any of the podcast members in the room to include myself. Like a 5-minute timeout. We're gonna have to implement that. You want us to be put on timeout? $50. And we'll be put on timeout for 5 minutes. T-Bull. This is a question for you, Craig. He said, T-Bull says, you know what? I don't believe you. He is asking you a question. He's saying, what new innovative games is this brother playing? So he's asking you, Craig, what innovative games are you playing right now? T-Bull's calling you out. What innovative game?
The AI is what's innovative. You can go back and play The Last of Us. Matter of fact, I challenge you. Go play the PS4 version. No, the person who asked that question. Go play the PS4 version of The Last of Us. The one that got, if you had the Pro, got the update. Then play the PS5 version of it, and it plays differently.
What you're saying is just like you were so reductive. Like for you to be like, oh, they updated the AI. I can still say you're running around shooting things. And then that would be it.
There's nothing wrong with going around and shooting things, but we were doing that.
But he's saying what's innovative, and now you're only saying a tiny little aspect of the thing.
I said the technology of it, but the games itself.
No, but he's saying what is innovative? What is the thing that you're doing where you're like, oh my God.
You got to let me answer the question. What is innovative is the way you're doing it now. So it's more immersive.
I could say the same thing about factions then. What's innovative?
Well, that's fine. I didn't say that it wasn't innovative. I didn't say that you're still doing the same thing over that we did back in the 90s. And it's okay as long as you enjoy it. But the game was trash. The game was trash. Naughty Dog, the people who created the game, canceled the game because it was trash. You don't, okay, that's the end of it. Seriously, that's the end of it. And they canceled the game because it's trash. And that's it. They knew it was trash. And shout out to Naughty Dog for recognizing trash.
What did I miss? Oh, man.
Listen. It turns out that this whole time, Craig has had a head burner for the Last of Us factions.
Yo. Hey, you just witnessed, I had a mute, Craig. They paid $50. Yo, Craig, I'm sorry, Craig, but I had to mute you. That dude actually said, put that motherfucker on timeout. This shit is, oh my God, Craig, you really, what the fuck just happened? That motherfucker says, I don't make $80 games, but for $50, time that dude out, bro. Like, they're just like, stop. Just holy shit.
Yo.
Oh, you know what? Gamers could afford $80. Yo, if you could pay $50 to be like, shut the fuck up, yo, you can pay
Hey, I
$80
do
for.
it all.
You know what? Okay, yo, you know what? I'm no longer arguing for $80 games. When dudes out here like, shut the fuck up for $50, yeah, you can buy these $80 games.
Oh man.
Hey, J-Dub.
Yo, what's good, brother?
Hey, how many times I done kick Pastor out? I'll gladly pay to be.
Oh
Yo,
man. Yeah.
you know what? I blame you, rich cats. We should have never let you in our hobby. Yeah, we
Oh,
can. You
shit.
know what? This is gentrification. That's what fuck is happening here.
man.
We're being gentrified. Now all of a sudden, my neighborhood has bike lanes and summer camps. I'm like, what? We have this shit in Brooklyn. Yo, no lie, my old neighborhood. The last time when I went back, for my dad's funeral, of course I go by my whole neighborhood. Yo, there's bike lanes. They have an event center. They opened up the pool. When I grew up, that pool was closed because they will find people overdosed in it.
Damn.
Now it's a pool with hotels around it. I'm like, and then when I look around, I'm like, I don't see Puerto Ricans around here though.
Yeah.
That's what y'all do with y'all gaming industry. We should have never let y'all rich cats in our community. Y'all too.
I'm gonna be honest. I blame Nintendo. It's always the weakest link. It's always the weakest link that causes the most chaos.
Oh man, let me finish this stuff right here. Glinzer. Next, they'll start charging for patches. Damn. And then finally, Ball Dante, $50. Timeout. And that was the one I got 11 likes.
Yeah, he was like, get the fuck out.
All right. Oh my God. All right. This is what we're gonna do, Craig. We're gonna meet you after one round of questions, but we gotta calm down. Obviously, they didn't like that faction talk. They're not trying to hear that, especially you playing college football. They did not. Nah. That even you went to a place that I wouldn't even go. And, yo, when he said all right, so what y'all guys miss is Craig said factions is trash. Factions won. That is no different than Ghost Recon from 1997. You missed it, bro. Y'all two missed it. Yo. All right, so here we go. So the topic we're talking about is, Randy Pitchford, right? My man said, if you're a real gamer, you'll pay that $80. Right? Okay. Let me go. Y'all seen the tweet, right? I don't have to show it, right?
Yeah.
Did y'all see the tweet? So what are your thoughts behind it on what he said? We'll start with Gabe. We'll start with. Oh, there you go. The two rich guys are trying to decide who goes first. What is this? This is how you doing a board meeting? This is how y'all talking to board meetings? No, you go. No, you go.
I defer to J-Dub. Go ahead.
I defer my time to J-Dub. Oh, that's it. It's official, J-Dub. He deferred his time. He submitted the deferral.
He gonna let me take my private jet first.
The room recognizes J-Dub for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, listen. Let's face it. The guy isn't lying. It's just because he's an executive, gamers don't like when they say that. But gamers ultimately know he's correct. And the reason we know he's correct because we just watched Nintendo walk out on that fucking stage and tell you their games are going to be $80 and $90. And all those Nintendo do was like, well, you know what? We paid $90 and $100 for games back in the day, back in the SNES days. I remember buying this game. It's really cheap. It's a steal. Get the fuck out of here. Like, we know what it is. It's all cap. If there's a game, and another thing, just gamers in general, have we not spent the last year and a half talking about how if Call of Duty is $100 or $150, we would still buy it? Absolutely, yes. Most gamers were saying that. That's been a discussion for GTA 6 for the last year and a half about how it was going to be expensive and how everybody don't care. I'll spend $200 on it. I don't care. And here we go, Ranger Pitchfork's like, hey, listen, if you like a game and, hey, you'll pay for it. You will. And it's the truth. Now, some frauds may rebel because they weren't interested in that game anyway. If I'm not interested in what's the name? Borderlands, right? Of course, I'm gonna go rah and all against it because I don't give a shit about it. But if that was a game that I really wanted to play, if that was GT8 and Sony charged $90, you think I'm not gonna have it? You out of your mind. And that goes the same with every gamer. There is always a price that you will pay for games. Things that you find value in, you will pay an extended price. It is what it is. But I think he's getting the backlash. He's probably going to get the backlash. A lot of it is unwarranted because we see Nintendo just do it. Microsoft said they're going to be raising prices of games to $80 at the end of the year, and eventually we all agree that Sony will probably end up doing it, right? And we all going to be buying in a Galactic, and we're all going to be buying the next Halo and the next Gears at $80 or whatever. So it's a nothing burger, but it's great for for us to talk about and for people to get online and rah. But I think Randy, what he said, it was the absolute truth. He probably shouldn't have said it, because he probably he knew he was going to get some type of backlash, but maybe that was his way of trying to get people to know that, hey, listen, these price increases are going to be here to stay. Just get used to it. I think the problem is, and this is where I have a problem, the problem is we come into the generation that had already increased the price by $10. Now we're still in this generation, just 5 years in, four and a half, almost not five, not quite 5 years, but almost 5 years, right? In November it'll be 5 years. And you're raising it another $10 with Nintendo taking that first leap of faith. But eventually, once third party accept that and they start doing it, it's there. It's there. It's to go. Will I stop gaming because the price of games go up $10? Absolutely not. Will most people stop? No. But I will say this: I will be more selective on the games that I spend $80 on. Whereas prior, when I spending $60, $70 for a game, I might just be like, you know what? This seems like a good game. I'll grab it. I'll grab this one too. I'll grab that one. Well, now I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna wait on that one. I'm gonna just get the ones that is a sure shot. I'm not gonna be willing to try and see if I like a game. I'm gonna make sure that it's a game that I'm interested in. And so I think ultimately that may be the negative effect of all this raising prices. People are gonna buy less games. They're going to be more selective on the games, whereas previously they would have bought, this game or that game kind of willy nilly. Now people are going to start watching their pockets. That's what I believe.
All right, Ghost. What's your view on this?
Shout out to I think his name's Starcasm on Twitter, man. He posted something that said, when you tell the truth, people don't like it. You know what I'm saying? And so people don't want to hear the truth because it makes them feel some type of way. So basically, what this gentleman said, I mean, he told the truth. Like, if you're a real fan, if you enjoy gaming, it's your hobby, and if we say the price is $80 and you want to continue to enjoy this hobby, you're gonna pay for it. And that's 100% fact. And just people don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And especially in today's climate where we have, sub services, we have free to play games, we have all these different avenues to consume gaming. And so that harsh truth just kind of hurts some people's feelings. And I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Because when I couldn't afford certain things, and there's things that I wanted, I saved up for them. I waited for a sale, or I did. So there, you have some different avenues. Everyone, like no one everyone's so scared of FOMO or don't believe in deferred gratification. Like yes, there are a lot of people that buy games as soon as they come out, buy systems as soon as they come out. But then if there's something that you want and your money ain't right, save up for it. You know what I mean? Like people are just scared to death
Yeah.
to be like, man, I ain't got it. You know what I mean? But I got to act like I got it, or I got to get it somehow. And so it's just like there's something different. If you're a day one guy that can afford it, cool. If you're a person that's on a budget and you can't afford it, I guess do a sub service. Or if you truly want it and you're a youngster, save up for it. There's so many different avenues. And so I just don't understand the hate other than the fact that it's Twitter, first of all. You know what I'm saying? And so they're going to play the algorithm. But if you truly want something, and we all do it, like, I love deep sea fishing. I go and buy the best equipment. J-Dub loves cars. P-Rock, you like baseball. You like traveling with your family. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't sit there and be like, oh my God, plane tickets too crazy. you look for a deal, right? Or you look
Man,
for
if you don't think I'll use my military discount, you crazy. I'm gonna get them free check baggage. I'm right now play. I'm gonna get them free. I'm gonna miss that when I retire. Them free check baggage. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when these consoles dropped, when these consoles dropped and they were, $400, $500, there wasn't nobody talking about, oh, that's too steep. You know, when these deluxe editions come out, everybody talking, if you truly want something, you're gonna go get it. And he just spoke harsh truths that people don't want to hear. Not in today's economy or whatever the case may be, but it is what it is, and I support him on it. I mean, it's not my type of game, so I'm not. If I get it, I'll wait for it's on sale. You know what I mean? But if it was like J-Dub said, Grand Theft Auto or a new Call of Duty or a new whatever, a Naughty Dog game or whatever the case may be, and I truly wanted it, I don't care what the price is. And if I didn't have it, then I'm gonna work a couple extra hours. I'm gonna earn up or save up to it. It's just bonkers. It's crazy to me.
So, see, the last part is where I'm getting at, and this is where. So, you wouldn't pay $80 for this game, but you would pay $80, even $100 for Grand Theft Auto 6. And I think I would too. I would pay $100 for Grand Theft Auto 6. So, is it really, if you're a real fan, or is it, if the game is a demand high quality game, people will pay $80? Because to me, what I don't like about his statement, he puts the onus on the consumer, and I don't see it that way. It ain't the consumer or a real fan. It's, do you make a game that's worth $80? People will pay $80. But the onus is on him. He has to make a game. Not the fact that I'm a real fan. You have to make a game that convinces me to pay $80. And that's what I don't like about his statement, because he's trying to project it on the gamer. No! You have to make a game that when you charge $80, I'll pay $80. Like Grand Theft Auto 6, easy. Naughty Dog, I'll pay the $80. Santa Monica, I'll pay the $80. Kojima, Death Stranding, I'll pay the $80. Right?
But you're a fan of you're a fan of those games. It's just like
that's you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah. Sorrows, I wouldn't pay $80. I wouldn't pay $80 for Sorrows. And I like Housemarque, but I don't think that they make $80 games. Housemarque don't make $80 games. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. I'm sorry. I'm a fan of Metroid Prime. I'm a fan of Metroid. But Metroid Dread, I paid $30 for that. And I'm a fan of Metroid. But that shit is no different than 2D side scrollers that you get for $20. I'm like, why is this game $60? I didn't pay $60. I paid $30. I found it. I found it for $30 and I got it for $30. Right? What I'm saying, right? So to me, you could be a fan of something, but at a certain point, are you going to let a company jerk you? When you realize, wait a minute, bro. Like, I like your shit, bud. Like Nintendo. Maybe well, that's for me, right? But ultimately, if, like, for example, Nintendo sells games for $80, right? It's on them to convince their audiences, and they did, right? But to me, I don't understand trying to look at a fan like, oh, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way. More like, how about you make a game that convinces me to put the effort into that? And my problem is they're trying to standardize it in the industry. I'm sorry, majority of the games ain't $80, dog. Yeah, these games ain't, like, everybody brings up Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, right? I even throw in Madden 2K for a reason, because those are the games that they could get away with $80. But to the industry, nah, y'all cats are not $80 games. Most of these industries are not. We barely say they even worth $70. A lot of these games, like some of these cats haven't demonstrated, to be like, are you really $70, dog? You know what I'm saying? Let alone a standard template across the board. Because the way I see, we're talking about standard template, and most of these cats haven't even really deserved the $70. And I think it's shown. A lot of games ain't really blowing up. Right? If anything, it's the same games that we're seeing more of now. The Maddens, the 2Ks, right? Call of Duty. Those are the games that get away with $70, and they'll get away with $80. But the reason why is majority of the people, that's all they play. So when you think about it, you buy Madden the day it launches, they're going to play that game for the whole entire year. So it's worth the $80. It's worth the $90. It's worth the $100, because that's really all they play. Yeah. They put in thousands, 10,000 hours into that. Same thing with Call of Duty or whatever and stuff like that, right? But there's a lot of games that people are going to look at $80. They're like, I think it's just going to, people are just going to be at a higher standard. They're going to look at the game, and now they're going to elevate a higher standard. But here's the thing. The games are not going to fundamentally change, because you just said they just raised it to 70. Now you're gonna raise it to 80, and these games are gonna be that different. They're not adding anything new. I get it. Businesses are doing business things, but it just feels like constantly the industry is trying to say like we owe them something, and I personally find it annoying. Personally, I find it annoying that they think I'm obligated to them, and I'm like, bitch, get out of here. I am treating you like Foot Locker. If you got the kicks I want, yes, I'm gonna drop $250 on them Jordans. But if I walk in and you ain't got the Jordans I want, I'm walking out. You gotta have the latest Jordans I want, or I'm walking out. I don't owe Foot Locker anything other than what they got in the store. I'll be like, yo, I'm looking for these new kicks. Oh, we don't have that, but we got these. Yeah, I'm good. Call me when you have these kicks. You see what I'm saying? And they just little by little, and I also believe, depending on who you are, right? Depending on who you are, you get to say some shit, right? Like Charles Barkley can't talk like Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like this Randy Pitchford, like, bro, you make Borderlands. Relax. You're not the head guy for GTA 6. I can understand if you're a GTA 6 dude. Then, but you talking, Borderlands, really? You that dude? Okay, we're about to find out. If they really, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I understand, like, and I agree, like, gaming is going to get more expensive. I think it's going to get more expensive naturally, whatever, right? And I know gamers don't want the prices right, but it's going to eventually go up. It's inevitable, right? I think it's just how it is. Developers, profit margins, developers, salaries, tariffs, all that nonsense, all that bullshit is coming in, right? It's all going to happen little by little, okay, right? But I think, I think the biggest guys that are having issues with this are the FOMO guys. What are you guys? I think FOMO guys are the ones most impacted because, like, I have no issues. Like Claire Obscure, amazing game, but I still haven't bought it yet. But I don't have FOMO. It's an amazing game. I'll get to it when I get to it. And by the time I get to it, if it's $20, then there you go. I'm buying the game at $20. I don't have FOMO like that for like almost everything. So I'm not going to stress out if games across the boards are $80 because, again, it's only the ones I really want that I'll play day one, right? And the games that I used to buy day one. But if I look at them now, like, like Housemarque Sorrows. If Sorrows is $80, I'm not buying that day one. I'm not.
Why do you
I
call
love
it Sorrows?
Returnal, but why I pick Sorrows? Because I bought Returnal day one, right? Saros, whatever. Saros. I'm gonna church it up. Saros. Okay, but Saros, right? So Saros, right? If that game launches at $80, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait on that one. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see Housemarque developing $80 games. I don't think they invest. They have the technologies or they do the things to get up to that point. Simply giving them $80 just something. If someone tells me, oh, then you don't support Housemarque, oh my God, I will send an e-slap video. Wow, get out of here with your bullshit. Like, stop it. Like, I don't see Housemarque as that big AAA dev that spends $200, $300 million on their stuff. That I'm like, I'm gonna pay $80 for this. It's just not. I'll just wait for a price drop. It is what it is. And people could be, oh, you don't support Housemarque. No, I support my wife and kids. That's what I support. Gaming is a hobby that I enjoy. What it is. But I'm not gonna let a company sucker me into. I'm not gonna let no company sucker me into acting like I owe them something. Nah, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Brandon Holiday. Which of my two hobbies will get my $80 for a game, or $80 on basketball cards that I rip live streaming? Oh, yeah. I think he's also you. So you go online. Oh, I see what he does. So I think he has content where he opens up basketball cards. And I guess he talks about what cards he got in the deck. I seen that like in sports and all that, like the stuff like that. Okay, which of my two hobbies will get $80? So now my man's thinking, damn, do I pay $80 for basketball cards, or I pay $80 for games? He's like, I can't do both. This is what you do: you buy the basketball cards and hopefully you get a card that's worth $100. You sell it and then you go buy a game. Win. Blinzer. price increases, not just for games, but for everything, would be more tolerable if wages were keeping pace. However, that's a whole different podcast, whole different conversation.
Yeah,
but
that's a whole different conversation.
That's a whole topic in itself. But you know what I'm saying?
You know, and guess what? That would be politics. And people always tell me keep politics out of the conversation.
Yeah, I'm leaving it. Yeah, we were like, we can't talk politics here. You know what I'm saying?
Can't talk politics.
All right.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this specifically with Borderlands. Do you think his statement will impact Borderlands? Do you think?
No.
Do you think, or do you think it's not
remember,
going to really do nothing?
The world isn't on Twitter. Like Twitter, like no one's gonna see this. 90% of the gamers that buy this game never seen. They don't even know who Randy Pitchford is. Like they don't care. They don't even know that it's Gearbox making it. You know, they see that splash screen and they're like, "Get me in the game. Let's just go forward." Like this is another thing. Like I feel like people don't keep it into perspective. This isn't the world. The world isn't the tweeters. Okay, it's not that. The people that are going to choose whether they support this game
Twitter
or
is
they
life.
Don't. Yeah.
Twitter is life. Okay, don't get it twisted.
Listen, it's not going to affect it one way or the other. Okay, people are either going to love the game and want to support the game, right? Or they are going to just be like, hey, you know what? I'll get it on sale, or I'll get it if I ever do, or if my friends get it, maybe it is there. But this is a very small bubble. Like I would say that there's maybe 3% of gamers that are enthusiastic enough to keep up with any gaming news whatsoever. And within that 3%, there is maybe 20% of them on Twitter. So you're talking about maybe 1% of the population, and 1% can sway things, you know, because if you have like a game like Clair Obscur, right, like we can act as an army to just spread the word of mouth, and it can sway things like that. It usually isn't worth doing for things that are negative, right? Like it really, usually people don't put that much effort in being like, hey, let me go call on my friend, and instead of saying like, hey, this is a great game, let me say, I hate this game and you should hate it too. You know, because somebody said something that offended me. Like, not even because of the game. Like, bro, come on. No one's doing that.
Let me ask you this. Both of you this. Is the 80, do you think the 80, let's say, because I don't think they announced the price for Borderlands 4. I don't think they officially reveal the price, right? If they do unveil the price and it's $80, do you think Borderlands is that type of IP that can
First of all, even at $70, Borderlands is already looking shaky. Let me put it this way. Yeah, Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 were fantastic.
He said that shit could be 70. That shit looks spooky.
Listen. No, the thing is, like, even at 60, to me, this is funny because this is actually the time to use Craig's reductive approach, because I see Borderlands 4
we muted him.
Just a polished. Yeah,
Dante said, "Fuck that, $50." Shut the fuck up.
He just used it with the wrong game. He touched on gaming sanctity. Like, I'm just like, bro, I wouldn't even say that. You know, that's like me saying shit about Halo 1 or Halo 2. I don't care about Halo, and I would never say anything bad about that game. You know? But no, here's the thing.
Some games are too obvious to attack.
I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. I would never say anything.
Okay, let me say this. Now, this shocked me. I'm gonna be honest. This shocked me. I did not know that fucking Borderlands 3 sold 22 million copies. Fuck.
Yeah,
as of May. That's fucking crazy. No wonder they came out with a movie and shit. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now, do you think Borderlands at $80? Do you think Borderlands 4 at $80 could be successful? I don't know, man. I don't know. Because there's always a breaking point. Like, there's something that's like, oh, man, that's great. You ever have friends that be like, yo, this sandwich shop is dope. It's delicious. Cool. No doubt. How much it costs? $20. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, a certain price point completely removes people away.
Hey, listen. I was about to order something on Uber Eats.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I was about to order food on Uber Eats, yeah? I have a place that I like, okay? When I started, it cost like $18. Now they're $126, and I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I had a friend like my boy.
$26.
See, here's the thing, but Prior to me seeing that
real quick.
number, go ahead.
Let me tell you this story. I have my boy, the boy that helped me, to really get me into college to start my college because I was lazy, and he actually signed me up. I'm like, what the fuck? You signed me up for college? What the fuck?
Yeah.
But he did anyway. One day, this was like years ago, Five Guys opened up. We were both stationed in North Carolina, and Five Guys opened up their first thing, right? And it's great. So I told him, yo, you need to go to Five Guys. The burgers are delicious. So he took his girl, now his wife, but at the time, his fiance there. Yo, he texts me. He's like, don't you ever have me eat at no gourmet burger shit like this. I just had a burger and fries for $25. Fuck you. Yo, he was mad as and that was his deal. His girl had like the double cheeseburger. He spent like $70. He said, sending me to this gourmet ass burger. Fuck out of here. But he couldn't do it because he took his girl there, so he couldn't back out. But boy, that dude cursed me the fuck out. Like, it's his fiance. He's not gonna be like, oh babe, let's go to Fuddruckers. Let's go to McDonald's. He had to commit. But boy, he texted the shit out of me, man. He was mad. He's like, don't you ever suggest this gourmet burger shit to me again.
He could have went out for a steak for that, man. Listen, Five Guys.
He said, I could have went to the Outback for this shit.
Exactly.
I once went to a birthday party, right? It cost $200 per person to sit at this table, and they had a set menu. And then the first thing that they brought us, the very first thing, the first amuse-bouche, was raw beef. I look at this raw meat, and I was like, so you're telling me you didn't even cook it?
That's an extra $200 if you actually want us to cook it.
Hold on. What do you mean it's
steak tartare?
I don't mean tartare. I didn't mean rare. I meant raw. Like raw. Yeah. It's raw. I was like,
steak tartare.
So you didn't even cook it. You cut it up and you put it on the plate. And that's what I'm paying for. And I was like, wait, there's only like 4 items. This shit's at $50. I told my friend, I'm never coming to your birthday party again. I haven't been back since.
Kind of, like, bro, you could have just had pizza and cake, bro. That's it. And steak tartare.
Wow.
And also, I was like, this shit it was awful. It wasn't even good. Not
you
even
ate
interesting.
I wouldn't have ate it. I'd be like,
for $50, I had to eat it. Are you kidding?
I wouldn't refund. I'd be like, refund my shit. Fuck out of here.
I did not, bro. I did not know
you had steak tartare
games. So Borderlands 2 sold over 30 million copies. What the fuck? Somebody's listen. It's not my genre. I'm not saying that Borderlands are boring or whatever. I played Tiny Tina's. I bought Tiny Tina's. I played it and then I kind of dropped it. I did not know
you streamed it. You streamed it too.
I streamed it. Absolutely. I did not know this fucking game. Listen, clearly there's a fan base for this game. Now, are they willing to spend $80 for it? I think they are, but not.
We'll find out.
So we'll find out.
We're gonna find out.
If Borderlands 2 sold 30 million copies and Borderlands 3 sold, what did I tell you? 22 million copies, over 22 million copies. Then at $80, they'll probably sell 15 to 10 million if I'm going by that, if I'm trying to make logic of it. But fuck, that game is fucking successful. I did not know. When I think of Borderlands, I think of just some shit just to throw out. I did not know, bro.
You didn't know that shit was the heat?
No, I didn't. Because it wasn't my.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he's like, I'm bold. My shit sells 20+ million.
Yeah, he got the numbers to back him up. So I mean, maybe that's why. Fuck.
In fact, I want him to sell it to $80. We need a couple of test runs. Right? Outside of Nintendo. We need to see a couple of test runs. Make your shit $80. Let's see what happens. Yeah. If the sales dramatically drop, now we know. I guess that's really that's the only thing that can happen. Just do it. Yeah. And let's see what happens.
But who do you think the first third party gonna be to do $80?
Well, I know a third party. I would man, that's gonna be hard this year. I don't know. Like if I have the biggest candidates that I could see who will jump to the $80 is Call of Duties, Madden, 2K, Grand Theft Auto. Those are
But
like my top four.
EA already went on record and said they're not raising the price of their games.
Oh, okay. Good for them.
Yeah, so
smart move.
So I
2K
thought it was
then.
just going to be
2K maybe.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. It doesn't make sense for these companies you just named to put their games up because most of the money comes from microtransactions. So you're just raising the barrier to entry. They are like mini little platforms of themselves. They actually would rather the price went down, but the microtransactions went up. You know, if they could make that happen, they would do it. That's why they're so happy to go on sale. Like if you take a look at these sports games, they're some of the fastest to go on sale because they don't care about that initial price.
True.
So it doesn't make sense for them to be, going $80, $90, $100 and cut the fan base in half. That's even going to work in. Nah. The real sale begins once you press that game and then you start looking at the store and the Ultimate Team and all of these other things. Yeah. So no, they are not going to go to $80. Maybe with something like a Battlefield, if they are like, okay, fine, we're not going to, monetize it the way we did Battlefront 2. Fine, fuck all that. Yeah, all right, cool. We'll actually give you a game. Okay, now we're going to charge you because we want to get our money back out of that. But yeah, aside from that, not the sports games. The sports games, the barrier to entry, they're going to do their best to keep it as low as possible for the longest.
And then I don't know. We're going to see. But somebody's going to do it besides Nintendo. But I think Microsoft said they're going to raise the price. They did say that. So
Michael. Yeah,
and I think it's Call of Duty. And I have a feeling it's Call of Duty because I can't think what other game other than Call of Duty this year.
This year is going to be Call of Duty. Next year, that's where you'll be looking at the Perfect Darks and the other AAA budgets.
Perfect Dark, $80.
Yeah.
No, but they're just saying
even J-Dog's like,
they're just saying some Game Pass.
Xbox and $80 don't sound right. That shit don't sound right.
Man. Not at all. Not for them. They're not anybody. But I will say this: I'd rather give Microsoft $80 than Nintendo.
Oh, that's true. That is true. At least 100% true.
Oh man, you're gonna bring heat to this podcast.
I'm gonna get my ray tracing. I'm gonna get my
maybe.
On the PS5
on PlayStation,
Pro.
You'll get your ray tracing
on
your
PS5
PlayStation,
Pro.
on your PS5 Pro.
I know a Nintendo without a shadow of a doubt. I ain't getting none of that shit.
Listen. We've got to talk about this new Nintendo shit. Those games are not worth even $50.
Listen, we're about to segue. So let's listen to this. I'm going to segue into this. Oh, this is good. All right, let's listen to this real quick. Here we go.
No, but of course, the Switch 2 is targeting.
This is a comparison. So here it is. So give me the back. Let me give y'all the backstory. So what you're about to hear is a snippet from Digital Foundry. Now, this is a comparison of Final Fantasy Remake. But here's the thing. They are comparing Final Fantasy Switch to 30 FPS version, meaning the pretty much the highest quality it can do versus PlayStation 5 Pro. I mean, not even Pro, just the PlayStation 5 performance mode. So this is performance mode versus what would be considered Switch 2's quality mode. All right? Switch 2's 30 FPS mode, their quality mode, so that's why it's running at 30 FPS versus PS5's performance mode. Not their quality mode, but performance mode at 60 FPS. Now let's listen to this.
To note, but of course, the Switch 2 is targeting 30 FPS here, not 60 FPS, as is the case on PlayStation 5. So if we look at the first set of shots here, the primary difference, and this will be a repeated point, is that the Switch 2 is blurrier than the PS5. There's a difference in image clarity, so it's harder to make out fine texture details. In terms of the metrics, I counted out a few shots on Switch 2, and it renders at 1080p. It looks like quite consistently with no particular signs of upsampling nor any particular signs of like DLSS or anything like that. I think this just looks like their regular TAA. The PS5 obviously is at 1512p with TAA, and it looks a lot sharper in these stills. Fares a little bit better if we actually had those high quality assets, although I am looking mostly at very stationary shots, so it shouldn't be too bad there. Another issue is that the hair is heavily dithered in both versions, and is basically relying on the TA to clean it up and make it look presentable over time. On PS5, it looks pretty okay. And at 4K on PS5, it looks very clean, I think, actually quite clean. But on Switch, it's rougher here and not as elegant. And it looks okay, but it's a little bit more messy, more like base PS4 there. The depth of field is also shallower in these cutscene shots on Switch, which is maybe a side effect of the resolution difference. Sometimes that scales based on resolution. And as we go through the shots, that's basically the story. Differences in depth of field and in the hair rendering, quality of hair rendering, and then less clarity on Switch 2. This last shot has a bit more of a meaningful difference. The shot of the tower there, the Mako Tower, insofar as the smoke is a bit more prominent on Switch, but again, just a little quirk. This should be fine, right? Hopefully.
Should be fine.
Should be fine, hopefully. But in dock play, potentially without VRR there, not fine, right? Probably not fine. So that's the only caveat here. Performance needs to be fixed.
Okay, now listen. This is for all the people who hyping hybrid powerhouse. You know
yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, just saying. And then people get mad at me for bringing this up. I'm like, but you guys are not gonna say nothing to the dudes who are actually going out there talking about that this is a 4K system. Yep. You're gonna have games equivalent to PS5. They get away with saying this shit, but I bring up and be like, "That's all bullshit. I'm the bad guy. Yo, this shit is crazy and stuff like that." Now, Extreme, what's your rant on Nintendo games not worth $50?
Listen, man. I've been saying this. Nintendo games, they have not been worth even the whole $6 or $7 price tag for the longest. They don't have voice acting. They don't have like any story to speak of. They don't have so many of the things that actually create, and forget about even the technical accuracy of these games. I mean, these games are literally stuck in the past. Like you're playing games that would look decent in like the mid 2000s. If we're like in 2005, 2006, then these games, they would be like, yeah, they're competitive. They belong here in terms of the quality of the technical aspects. You know, the lighting, the shadows, you know, the freaking resolution and everything like that. Perfectly fine. But they have been super far behind. And the Nintendo Switch 2 was that moment where they could have improved dramatically. And, you know, people talk about that, isn't it? They talked about how the PS4 to the PS5, there wasn't that big of a jump, they say, and everything like that. Even though doubling the frame time is a pretty sizable thing, it doesn't matter, right? Still, with the PlayStation, with the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch 2, I don't see the same complaints. And I'm like, this is basically the same game. Like, what are you talking about? What has changed? And people are like, oh, look at her eyes. Look, there's more glimmer there. And I'm like, really? This is what you want me to be looking like? Look at the character model, but specifically look in the eyeball. You know, it looks a little bit greener. Listen, Nintendo games Nintendo does not put enough production quality in the games to be worth $60, $70, $80. They just don't. Okay. Now, that's just the truth of it. Okay. I played Breath of the Wild. Fantastic. It's awesome. Right? Love the game. But you know why I love it? Because I didn't pay for it. Okay. If I had to pay for that shit, bro, I would be so disappointed. Like, I have so many complaints. Like Zelda Breath of the Wild, they give you 100 shrines and like 70 of them play the same. Like, honestly, and here's the truth. Why don't we give Nintendo the same gripe that we give Ubisoft for just overstuffing the game world with a bunch of shitty things to do that are completely meaningless and does not affect your enjoyment of the game whatsoever? Like, if you play Breath of the Wild, there's lots of parts in that are way worse than Ubisoft games. And I'm talking recent, like Assassin's Creed games where everything is too big and it's too bloated. Like, Nintendo has that problem with the Zelda franchise, at least the latest ones, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. And no one ever says anything about that. The point is, Nintendo was riding this wave of almost like invulnerability. Like they were just untouchable. And they've been able to get away with shit that other companies cannot even get a whiff of. Otherwise, everybody's going to get mad at them. But now when you look back and you're like, yeah, well, yes, parts of it are innovative. The Ultra Hand and everything else like that in Tears of the Kingdom, super, super cool, right? Great mechanic that you can build your own vehicles and everything. But when you take a look at the game holistically, there's a lot of faults. And a lot of those faults are things that other companies would have caught and would have taken out of the game or would have improved the game over, right? Like in Tears of the Kingdom, there's an area called, I think, the depths, below the map, which is just a reflection of the map above. And there's nothing to do down here. Except if you think about the breadth of the Tears of the Kingdom map, it is humongous. So you've just doubled the map size, and below you gave pretty much nothing to do, save fighting a few monsters here and there. And that's it. That's pretty much all you do down there. And it's literally the size of the entire world map. It is incredibly wasteful. And yet, again, if Ubisoft did this, right, or if Horizon Zero Dawn did this, people will be like, what the fuck is this? Like, why did I pay for you to add this entire area where there's practically nothing to be done? No, but Nintendo gets away with it, right? Like, people were so happy with Elden Ring when they will go below the map and then they will find like a whole other area and a whole other different types of play. And it was like fantastic and magical and everything like that. But they don't require the same productivity, they don't require the same proclivity from freaking Nintendo. These games that Nintendo is putting out, a lot of them, they are bloated, a lot of them are repetitive and not innovative enough to be charging a premium price, especially when the rest of the industry isn't at that price point yet. It's incredible.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jado?
It's Nintendo, man. It's Nintendo's going to be Nintendo. They're going to do Nintendo. They're not going to change. I think they know that they have a rabid fan base that will defend anything and will do anything, and that's just it is what it is. And here's the thing: I'm not knocking the kids, right? That love Nintendo. That's what generally when Nintendo is built upon, right? Our childhood is built upon Nintendo. But I think moving the console to $500, 450, $500, and their games $80, $90, that moves it out of the kid category. It's no longer the kid category. You're not selling this to my little kids, right? You're selling this to grown people. And I think the Switch 2 is going to sell a lot less than the Switch 1 sold because that point of entry. I think the diehards are going to get it day one and stuff, but I think after a couple of months, I think sales are going to slow up because of the card.
J-Dub, how old are your kids?
Man.
Pardon? Oh, he's gone.
Nope. Oh, they got Nintendo. Nintendo, and Nintendo's happy with what he said. That's it. He doesn't need to say no more. Miyamoto said, "You know what? That's it. We're good."
Got it.
He doesn't need to justify his reasons. Miyamoto said, "Good."
They took him off the air. The ninjas pressed that shuriken to his head, and they were like, "Hey, you know what this is?" Yo, no, listen, J-Dub is wrong about that. The Nintendo Switch 2 is going to sell like hotcakes just as much, if not more so, than Nintendo Switch 1. Because another thing that J-Dub was wrong about is that this is for children. And children do not give a fuck how much money it costs. They don't understand the concept of money. They don't understand the concept of money over time. All you're going to tell the kid is, hey, maybe instead of getting 4 games this year, you're going to get 3 games this year. The kid is like, hey, listen, I can understand that part, but at the end of the day, I'm still getting Mario Kart. I'm still going to get the next freaking, I don't know, Animal Kingdom or whatever it is that they're into. I'm still going to get the next Donkey Kong game. And if I have to wait until next year for the next game after that, then I'm going to have to wait, but I'm getting this game. Kids do not care about how much it costs, and parents are going to want to make their kids happy. And if the kid is like, hey, listen, I did my part, I did my chores, I cleaned my room, I freaking, I don't know, went to school and I, didn't put out someone else's hair and you promised me this game, they're gonna get that game. You know, and that's the thing. It's the same reason.
Yeah.
It's the same reason, J-Dub, why Prams cost so much, right?
Yeah.
Like if you think about Prams, why do Prams cost like 400 to 600? A Pram, like a trolley for kids?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What do you call them?
But you know, the Switch 2 isn't sold out,
like
right? You
like a carriage?
And that's the thing.
Wait, you call them carriages? Oh, the thing you put the baby in when you move them around, the stroller. What do you call it?
A stroller?
Stroller.
Yeah. Oh, you call it stroller. Okay, fine.
Stroller.
We call it a pram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So why do they cost so much?
I'm like, here we go. We're gonna. This is gonna be a whole topic now.
No. We're not doing that.
Ah, shit. We always do this. Okay. Like, here we go. It's gonna be okay.
Why do they cost so much? Right? Like a typical one's are $400 to $600, and that's because it's for your baby.
Especially like what was it? I think J-Dub might know, but he probably got more expensive brand. But remember when Eddie Bauer's strollers was like a thing?
Yes, they were the top of the line.
Oh my god, bro!
Eddie Bauer.
Like them shits were like you said, $800 to $1,000, $1,200, and mothers were acting like, oh, I can't put my baby in anything but an Eddie Bauer.
Yeah,
I'll be like, boy, I'll have that kid in a lunchbox. Keep fucking around. Exactly. That kid, stop playing. That kid will learn to walk on the second day before I put him in an Eddie Bauer. Yo, that shit was ridiculous. Oh shit. Like, hey, so by the way, go ahead. M had a question. He had a question, and then
go ahead.
No, I was saying that the reason that those things cost so much is
your question before we got cut off.
Wait, what question?
Yeah, you asked her like how old was his kids? You gonna
how old are your kids? Yeah, J-Dub.
Yeah, 9 and 11 and 15.
Oh yeah, you buy Nintendo.
The thing is, you're still in Nintendo land. You're still in Nintendo land. You know, if your 9-year-old is like, Dad, I want Donkey Kong, you're going to say, okay, hold on, wait here. You're going to get in your truck or your Lamborghini. You're going to go and drive to that thing. You're going to buy.
You know what?
This is the first time.
I think this is going to be a good time that your son needs to learn a hard lesson in life, right? This sounds like a good opportunity.
Yeah, but this is what I'm telling you guys. Yeah. Right? Like when the Switch 1 came out, it was $299. Yeah. I bought each one of my sons a Switch. Right? They had their own Switch, everything. This time, they're not getting it. They have PlayStation 5. They play their Roblox. They play the Fortnite. They play, all the other stuff. They're good. This is the first time I'm not.
So that first Christmas when you buy that Nintendo 3 times. You just let me know I was right,
man. Jay, I already see J-Dub gonna be a boy. you're gonna take up a new hobby. You're gonna learn to cut grass. That's what you're gonna do. But we got workers for that. No, we got you. I fired him. I fired. He's like, hey, they deported the Mexicans that used to cut our lawn, so I need you. We're trying to save jobs for America, so they're talking about you. Get out there. Okay. Cut my hedges.
So Porter Rod, your console, you spent $500, right? You spent $500 for your console, the PS5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your kids, right? Let's say you had I know your kids are probably older. Right? How old are your kids?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I only have one kid. I have one daughter.
Okay, your daughter. Your daughter's older, right? So she's not a little girl. She's grown. But let's say she was 5, 6 years old. Dad, I want this here. You would love to give it to her, but you're like, I'm not spending something on you that costs the same as me as an adult. Like when I go shoe shopping with my kids, nowhere in the world
he wants his own Ferrari. He wants his own Ferrari.
Exactly. I'm gonna buy my kids a car that's more expensive than what I got. Like, get the fuck out of here.
You know what's funny? Because it's funny, right? Because let's say my daughter, she wasn't really a gamer or whatever, but let's say she wanted the Switch 2, right? And my wife would be like, yeah, get a Switch 2. I'd be like, you want to know how much the games cost? And my wife's like, how much? $80. Boy, my wife will slap her.
You still $80?
No, hell no. My wife, she's Oh boy, my wife would be like, "Get the fuck out of here, boy!
Exactly.
You're grounded." She would ground her. You're grounded just for asking. Like what? I feel like,
well,
yo,
exactly. And I'm at that point.
you know what's funny? When I told my wife the Pro was $700, she looked at me like,
what the?
It's your money. That's what she said.
Yeah.
She's like, it's your money. She looked at me
Yeah.
like, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's your money. That's what she said. Your money.
You know what she was like? She was like, it better not be my money.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's exactly your money. Don't dip this into our shared account. You better have some shit stashed.
It better not be my money. She was like, you better go mow J-Dub's lawn.
Yeah. I heard J-Dub looking for work. I'll be like, got you, J-Dub. I'll be like this. I'm like, you got some lemonade? He's like, nah. Nah, dog. There's a hose. You can drink out the hose right there in the back.
There is. And listen, I'm going to be honest, guys. There is, in the industry, has to be careful. I don't think it's $80. But there is a fine line between an expense for these. Remember, these are all hobbies, right? And it was all dandy when COVID was going on and everybody was at home bored to death. But people will go off and find other hobbies. They'll just get priced out. They'll just be like, nah, this shit too expensive. It's not really worth it for me. I'm gonna just move on and go do something else. I think the industry has to be very careful.
J-Dub, you hit on it. And in fact, I now that you mentioned it, maybe you guys have noticed, but me and my wife, we one of our biggest hobbies that we love doing is movies, right? Sometimes not so much for the movie, but for just to get out the house,
hanging out, experience,
have a little dinner, get some popcorn, get some drinks, eat some candy, and just be together in a different environment.
Yeah.
Have you? Like, I can't remember the last time I seen a packed theater for any movie day one, even Sinners.
Yeah.
Most movie theaters are like half full.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But it's expensive because I'm dropping like $50, $60, $70. Sometimes $50 just the tickets, never mind the food. Yeah. So it is, movies have gone up dramatically. But I'm like, cool, whatever. But I see multiple movies. I don't see theaters packed no more like they used to be. Like, sometimes you walk in and like, man, like there's no seats anywhere. Like, not anymore. Now it's like
people are saying, I'll wait for it to come to streaming and I'll just buy the movie at home, cook my own popcorn and do that. That's what a lot of people are doing.
And that's you made a legit comment.
But that's what I'm going to say. People don't get out of the hobby. They just move downstream of the price point. Because that's exactly right. With the cinema thing, with the movie thing, people are not watching the movies. They are just going to watch it on a separate part. For example, for me, I don't go on opening night, first of all, but I also just go on like cheap Tuesdays. Like they have days during the week where it's a half price. Exactly, so I can go at a price point where I am more comfortable. So maybe you're not seeing the packed movies because half of us are going to the opening night and half of us are waiting for next Tuesday
for the $10 for the $10 matinee,
where we can get a $10 ticket. So that's the thing. It's the same thing with gaming. If all games, AAA games, were $100, right? People are not going to leave gaming. They're just going to go to the Fortnites. They're going to go to the free-to-play games because they can always just move downstream of that thing. The bad thing is that it's harder to then move those people back upstream. Like, especially when they get ready to that price point. Take a look at what Game Pass did. Game Pass made that whole downstream thing a super easy path, right? And you didn't feel the penalty of having to wait for the game to drop in sale and drop in price and over time, and then 3 years later. It's the same thing like when they did day-and-date releases on streaming services for movies. People were like, wait, so I get to have it at a cheaper price overall than the experience? Because think about it, spending $50 to $60 to watch a 2-hour movie at home, like, what are you doing? Like, what kind of fancy dinner did you put on at home? No, you don't do that. The candy is like $8. The popcorn is like another $8.
That's not lie. Exactly. It's not lie. It's not a lie.
So it's like you take a $70 spend and you half it immediately, and that is with you getting everything. Now you don't have to choose what kind of candy you get. You're getting the ice cream, you're getting the candy, you're getting the popcorn, you're getting the other popcorn. And then you just sit on your couch and you watch it. So what happened there is that the people were like, yeah, like what the fuck would I go to the movie theater for? You know? And that's exactly what happened. And that's what Game Pass did. And then that happened for a little while, right? Fortunately, the movie industry kind of got wise to it pretty quick. But imagine if that had stayed for like a year or two. To then ask a person to then go and trade that experience for movies again? Oh, they'd be like, nah, you got me fucked up. Like, wait, so I'm going to spend $35 on the popcorn alone? Like, bro, that is like my entire supply, you know? So it's the same thing. Like, again, it's not the fact that, like, going, like you guys said, it's not so much, like, companies can charge whatever they want, and the market will react however they react. But eventually, you're going to drive people further downstream, right? Because again, once a person is like, oh, I'm going to play games on PlayStation Plus, or I'm going to play games on Game Pass, or I'm going to play only games that I can rent from GameFly, or I'm only going to buy a game when it's $20 or less, for you to then be like, oh no, here's a brand new game, spend 70, spend 80, spend 90, another person's like, wait, that's like 3 months of Game Pass right there. Like, why would I come and pay for your game? So it is a thing that's going to happen. So yeah, they have to maintain a balance between what is fair, and they also have to, I think, they have to actually reduce the amount of work they put in terms of all of these oversized maps. Like I've told you, I love Horizon Zero. I love Horizon Zero Dawn. I love Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West in particular would be at least 10% better if the map was 30% smaller. There's just parts of it where most gamers are not going to go to. There's parts of the side quest most gamers are not going to play. And as a developer, you have to ask yourself, am I creating a game only for Emmanuel who's going to platinum it and he's going to play it again and then play it again and he's going to spend 300 hours in it? Or am I creating this game for the majority of people so that within a 30 to 40 hour thing, they've seen about 60 to 70% of my game. And then another 10 hours, they see 90% of my game. You know, like how much content am I going to put in here where people are just not going to participate in? And that's where they can actually be smart. It's not about just increasing the price point and creating bigger and bigger maps. I think that trend chasing is bad, right? It hasn't resulted in a hugely positive thing. You take a look at Assassin's Creed games, people are overwhelmed by them. They open that map in the menu and they're like, oh my God. Like they see themselves on this tiny little blot of an island, and then they're like, wait, the game goes for this long? And then they just turn it off. Developers have to be smarter, giving us better experiences. And I would say something like a Clear Obscure is again a great example of that. The map is big and it is large, but it's also manageable. Like if you don't go to every area in Clear Obscure, you don't feel like you're missing out on a huge amount of things. The amount of side quests, there's only like 10 side quests in the entire game. Like again, it's very contained in what it is trying to achieve. So I think that's what they need to reduce these budgets, reduce how much you're putting into the game, especially the open world games, because most people are not going to be like me. Most people are not going to play a Death Stranding and platinum it. They're not going to play a Horizon and platinum it. They're not going to play a Final Fantasy 16 or a Final Fantasy, like, was it 7 Rebirth? That had like 45 mini games, and people are like, there's too many of them, you know? Like, why did you spend that development budget creating so many mini games when The Witcher 3 had one mini game and it was Gwent, and people were like, I'm good. I love this game. Imagine if The Witcher 3 had tried to do what Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth tried to do and have 25 different versions of mini games. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay.
Let me see. I think there was another topic I want to talk about. I think you guys seen anything else?
Oh, I just saw the whole Doom Eternal. Hey, there we go. Doom the Dark Ages.
Yeah, so what's going on? Let me do some super chats real quick. We got Ball Dante, the man who told Craig silence. yo, I was joking about the whole I was joking about the whole time out. Ball's like, no, you not. Silence. He went, shh. Yo, I was like, I just saw $50 and it just said timeout. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, Craig's gonna hate me, man. I hope Craig comes back. I hope Craig don't take it personal, man. I love you, Craig. But Dante was not having it, man. Like, yo, he needs to yo, Craig went too hard on that one, bro.
You went to gaming royalty and you said it was trash. I'm sorry, man.
Yo,
Justified.
Ball said, shh.
And you know what? That's like me saying Bloodborne is trash. Like,
my
I'm
God,
just like, yo, PlayStation.
Oh my God!
PlayStation royalty.
I would shut the podcast. I'd be like, "Yep, I'm done.
I'm telling you.
I'm cutting the stream." So shout out to Ball Dante. He said this was a total fumble for Nintendo. Why release FSF remake without implemented DLSS? Are they doing the Xbox strategy of patching in features after release? What the fuck? LOL. I don't know, man. But like, it's just. But I'm gonna tell you, it's funny because I trade you. I'm like, listen, these Nintendo fanboys need to stop. Like, don't hype power. Just don't.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. Do not compare it to the PS5. Just be happy. If anything, just be happy you're getting more support than Xbox. That's it. I will do that.
Yep.
But I don't know why they're going after PlayStation. Like, listen, just say, we're getting games that you can't even get on Xbox. And they would win. Easy. Yep. That's an easy win. But no. I'm telling you, man, they want to shout at the title. And they don't understand what they're going for, bro.
Everybody wants to go after the king. Nobody wants to just be the general or the deputy or just like the lord of the town. Everybody wants to be the king in the Iron Throne. And it's like...
Listen, man. They're trying this hybrid powerhouse. It's going to make them look dumb, man. Like, Switch is a mobile platform with mobile hardware. It's not that dude. Leave it alone. Vegan, VR King. PS Legion. What's going on, Vegan? How you doing? He says, because Nintendo fans have Stockholm Syndrome. Oh, snap. I mean, it's just funny. And then we got Jenna Hayes with the $10 super chat. What's going on, Jenna? Is it true that Jay Raymond left Haven? Oh, Jenna, come on. You missed it, but is it true that Jay Raymond left Haven because she is pregnant with Zahire's baby? What?
Oh shit!
Yo, Jacob, what the heck? What's going on here? P-Rock, you can save money by getting your snacks from Dollar Tree and sneak them in your wife's purse. Yo, what's going on, J-Dub? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Z messed things up.
Man.
Jay Raven's having his baby.
He went from grannies to female developers. Man.
Oh man, he went for the white snow bunnies in the gaming industry. Oh man, he put in Robert Griffin the third. Snap!
You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, he's an unfaithful husband. Oh man, and stuff like that. Oh no, I was like, wait a minute. Oh shit. All right, what was it? Let's see. Doom. Yeah.
So Doom: The Dark Ages. 3 million players.
Mm-hmm.
3 million players. Now here's the thing, Puerto Rock. I got a good memory. Me and you, being the console war chiefs of all of the last decade. Our memories are very, very good. I remember there was a point in time, a PS5 exclusive at the time, sold 3 million copies in like 3 days with Final Fantasy 16, and bots called it a flop. And this was copies sold at $70 a pop. But some kind of way, 3 million across 10 different platforms, 10 million players. I mean, 3 million players across 10 different platforms is a W. Why do we not keep the same energy for things? The players versus soul. That's what I'm wondering.
J-Dub, as a sergeant in this console war thing, I will also point your attention to a very well received 3 million player game called Hi-Fi Rush, and I'm sure nothing bad happened with that.
Ooh, great point. Great point.
That was players.
I forgot about that.
Also coming from the Game Pass crowd.
Yeah. Dude, I need to steal that. I'm finna cause mess on Twitter.
I'm about to do something. What I'm about to get the Final Fantasy 16 3 million sales in a week. I'm just gonna put that. But I thought this was bad. What's going on here? You know? Interesting.
The same energy.
Interesting. Here we go. Yeah, let me find it. So yeah, I found a tweet from Bethesda. So Bethesda, thank you for making Doom Dark Ages the biggest launch in ID's history. 7 times faster to 3 million players than Doom Eternal. So 3 million players in 5 days across PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and it's on Game Pass. Interesting. Yet Final Fantasy 16 got flack for selling 3 million in the week, and it was only available on the PS5. How does that work?
I mean, I just also want to point out the calculations that people usually do, 3 million players out of how many potential customers based on the console sold, the PC sold, the Xbox is sold, the Game Pass is sold. I mean, that is like less than 1%. That is garbage.
So let me see something right here. Like right here. Final Fantasy 16 has already sold over 3 million copies. Not bad for a PS5 exclusive. Wednesday, June 28th. It seems a whole lot of people still enjoy the dulcet music or chocobos or whatever. Final Fantasy 16 has sold over 3 million units since launching on the 22nd. So this article's the 28th, so 6 days.
Yeah.
6 days. So this darker take on the series is a PS5 console exclusive, making these sales figures even more impressive. But everybody was saying this was a flop.
Yeah.
So I want to know, like, what's going on here? Now, this is players. So this is not so let me put it this way. This is why this is I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Game Pass has around 35 million players. So what this tells me that at a minimum, there's at least 32 million players that didn't even bother to hit download.
Exactly.
Because that's all you got to do. Hit download, right? That's all you got to do. You got to do. You already paid for it. It's already in your house. It's on your machine. It's already there. All you have to do is click download, install it, play. 32 million people said no. I'm not even going to put the energy to download it and play it. 32 million people.
They were like 80 gigs. Nah, not doing that. I'm not spending my download data on this. Hey,
see what I'm saying?
I sent you a DM. Just so that
in the Twitters.
In the Twitters, gotta go to the Twitters always.
Okay, all right.
Just so that the people are aware what we're talking about, because we wouldn't want us to lie.
Right.
We don't lie on this podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't lie on this podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, absolutely not. As much as they try to make it seem like we're a bunch of liars, like we are not. 3 million players have turned up to rock in Hi-Fi Rush. Thank you for Maroon Tango. Now, didn't Microsoft get rid of the studio?
Yeah,
despite 3 million players?
Nothing bad happened. I heard that everything went great.
Microsoft got rid of them after that. Yep. It's
3 million players.
It's
everything
crazy
went great.
They act where the Xbox guys act like that was
interesting.
That was such a great success. 3 million players from this and that, and then they were like, get your ass out of here with that player shit. But with Doom, I thought it was a big. I don't know. I just 3 million players. Hopefully, Doom will get shut down.
Like I don't understand. Like where's the same energy though? Where's the equivalent energy? Like So this is bad. Final Fantasy, 3 million copies sold on one platform. But 3 million players across PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, with 35 million preloaded for Game Pass. So you already have 35 million people already accessing this game or have the ability to access the game. So right off the rip, 35 million is sitting there waiting, to chamber the round. Yet you got 3 million. That means 32 million people. So here's my thing with Game Pass. You're not even going to play Doom? Like, what are you doing on Game Pass? Like, not even Doom can get you to play Game Pass? Not even Doom. Like, this is Doom.
Yep.
I mean, I would expect 10, like at a minimum, this tweet should say 15 million. Because you gotta get at least 15 million people. You can't tell me 15 million people are not interested in downloading and playing 5 minutes of this game. Because you know they include everyone who just even is on the title screen.
Yep.
Yep.
That shit is wild, bro. That shit is wild. You can't even get Game Pass gamers to play Doom that already have this game. They already have it. Literally, just click download and play it for 5-10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This shit is wild, bro. Oh my God. What is going on?
It goes back to dudes say they love Game Pass. They say they love the service. They say that all these games are coming, blah, blah, blah. But all they had to do is take their finger and press one simple button, and they didn't do it. And then they wonder why their fucking console is going away. And then they wonder why all their games are going over to PlayStation and Nintendo.
At least we have players in the chat saying how many copies sold. So they're not trying to hear that bullshit.
They're not gonna.
Nah.
Yeah.
They're like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. They ain't want to hear that.
Oh, wow.
We know the grift.
Interesting. But yeah, this was a flop.
Yep.
This game needs to come to Xbox to save it.
Yeah.
Put it on Game Pass. Put it on Game Pass.
Yeah. Remember Astrobot doing 1.5 million in like 3 days or something like that. Remember that was a flop. Right?
I don't know. It was like 3 months. It was something like that. Okay. I don't know.
I don't know. It could be.
But it's still selling, though. I think it's over 1.5 by now. I think it's at least 2 million, maybe even more.
Okay.
The game is still selling.
Let's say it stopped at 1.5 million. That was people who spent their money to buy the game, to buy it and own it. Not just hit the download button. This Game Pass service, all you got to do is hit the button, and you will still refuse to. Now, keep in mind, this is including PC. Isn't there's supposed to be, 3 billion PC gamers out there, according to Phil? So out of 3 billion PC gamers and out of 34 million Xbox console owners, none of you motherfuckers could hit the download button? Say what you want about PlayStation, but their games are on PlayStation, right? So they're not really dependent for the majority on anybody else. It's just that it goes back to what we were talking about with Final Fantasy and Astrobot and stuff. It's like it's just on that platform at that time. And these are full price titles sold versus, hey, you got the service, the game is free. All you gotta do is hit the download button, and Xbox and those gamers are like, nah, that's okay. So what game will do it for them? What game will make them hit that download button? If games like Doom, and Doom was supposed to be a huge game, right? I think Doom Eternal was really good. I think
huge.
They did good. Yeah. I don't understand that. I don't understand this. This is their W. Doom is a big game. It's supposed to be their W. And they're like, we don't care. So I don't know, man. How is Game Pass gonna remain sustainable? How is it gonna change anything? I don't know. I have no clue.
Yo, I saw this tweet that made me laugh out loud. I'm gonna send it to you, Paul, on the Twitters as usual. I think that this is just speaks to the delusion that some people have. Also, yeah, but yeah, no. J-Dub, these people, they don't keep the same energy. That's the truth of it. Like, if they did, Microsoft's products will be better. Because if people were honest and like, hey, you know what? No, this isn't what we wanted. No, this is nowhere near where it should be. And also, can we talk? Why is it that every Microsoft game that comes out always has something to go against it? Like Microsoft, I don't feel like they've given the glow up to any studio so far, right? Like Hellblade 2 was supposed to have that glow up. It didn't have it. South of Midnight was supposed to have that glow up. It didn't have it. You know, like now Doom, the Dark Ages is supposed to have that glow up. It doesn't have it. Where is it?
What are you showing me, Em? I don't think it's winning, and there's still a lot of year left. But is Doom the Dark Ages in the Game of the Year discussion as of right now? Oh my god!
Do you see the delusion? Do you see the delusion? I looked at this.
Like we gotta stop forcing. Oh my god! Like we gotta stop forcing. Like motherfuckers are forcing. Like you can't. You know what? Whatever.
And can I just say, this is like when everybody is like hyped and super hyped about Clay Obscure. Sure. People have just been hyped about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. People have just been hyped about freaking Split Fiction. Like you can tell these games had an impact. And this guy is like, so Doom the Dark Ages, is it in that Game of the Year discussion? And I'm like, what?
Sure.
Even if no other game.
Yes. Yes. Front runner.
Yo,
it's a front runner.
Even if no other game came out this year, they still wouldn't be. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm gonna say yes.
Listen,
front runner.
Listen, if no other game came out this year and there were only 3 Game of the Year nominees, we still wouldn't take Doom. We would rather cut how many nominees there are than take that shit. I'm just like, yo, what are you talking about? Hey, listen.
I'm saying yes, absolutely. It's up there. And if it's not, Jeff Keighley, once again, doing his bullshit. Exactly. This is Xbox. Once again.
Exactly.
Okay. I think Doom was the last thing I went to the bench. I think that's it. I think we covered the topics.
That's it for you. I have things to say.
You have one? All right.
I've got many. What are you talking about?
Oh no! Oh my shit! You got all afternoon. Okay. One big thing. What's one big topic?
Fine, this topic. Okay, because we gotta give PlayStation some smoke. Go ahead, I sent you on the
Okay. You send it on the Twitters? Oh man,
we're gonna give PlayStation some smoke.
Okay. Oh shit. All right. Listen, we got Ball Dante in the room. Be careful. My man's already.
Listen.
You should be careful.
Listen.
He
can send another $50.
Be careful. This is it. That's what I said. This is a good one. This is a good topic. Shit. Shit. My man said Kojima reveals his next espionage game, Fizzin, is 5 to 6 years away. Listen. You know what's funny, you know what's funny about this? On Crossfire, Wooly was talking about, we're gonna get a great Kojima game this year. Yeah, and I'm like, that's it? Because you ain't gonna see another game from him for like 6 years.
Yo, listen, Wooly was tripping. If I was on that podcast, it would have been war. This guy, listen, Wooly, love you, boy, but that was crazy. I'm like,
it's okay because you get a Kojima game. Like,
you must be drunk.
The fuck is he talking about? Like what? Like.
Listen, a Kojima game that the majority of the gamers aren't even gonna like. I'm sorry, Death Stranding 2 is another Death Stranding. And remember, I was cautioning people. I was like, yo, this hype that you guys are putting on this game as if it's going to play like a freaking Battlefield, it's not. It's still going to be a FedEx simulator, which again, for me, loved it. But for you people who are thinking like, oh my god, there's going to be guns and Metal Gear Solid style ammo and freaking weapons and combat, I'm like, no. You're not getting that. But yeah, no, what was his name? The topic. Kojima came out and he was like 5 to 6 years away. Listen, your game can be 20 years away if you wanted. But why did you reveal it? What is the point of you telling me that you're starting a game that if it is 5 to 6 years away, and this shit was revealed like a year or two ago, right? So that means that you had nothing but a name down on paper. There was nothing to show. I hate these things. And I've said it before. Do not reveal your project. Do not reveal your game. Do not reveal your concept. Do not reveal even a thought of a thought until you are ready to announce it within 18 months of release. Don't do it. I hate it. Because now, for the next 5 to 6 years, the conversation is going to be dragged. Oh, when is Fizzint coming? When is it coming? When is it going to be? What's it going to be like? What's it going to play like? And we're just going to waste so much time on podcasts and brain cells trying to conceptualize ideas around this game. And it's just like, dude, this is just, it's offensive to me. It's offensive to me. Do not tell me about the existence of it. Don't. Just don't do it. Wait until you are nearly there and then come out and we can all see what it is that you've been working on. So, yeah, definitely. Yeah, oh no, yeah, Baldente. I know people are trying to beg for another showcase, and I'm like, what the fuck are you on about? Why? Why has this showcases given you? People are complaining the most they ever have about PlayStation, and I'm like, yo, weren't you happy with the last showcases? Then go back and watch them. Take some comfort in that. Like, yo, what are you? Listen, this is crazy. What about you, Jada? What do you think about these people revealing fizzing 5 to 6 years away from us?
Obviously that's never a good thing because shit changes all the time, right? Shit changes all the time. Who cares if it's gonna take you 10 years? I mean, I think if we think about Wolverine, right? They showed us that game what maybe 3 years ago. Clearly,
4
it was
years
too
ago,
early.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
No,
close
no,
to
it was
4,
4.
right?
2021.
Yeah.
2021.
Clearly,
They revealed it.
clearly, they shouldn't have shown it. They should have waited until right. So you run that risk. And then here's the thing. I mean, dude, 5 years, that's a long fucking time. We don't know if the Earth is gonna be here in 5 years. I, I'll be
We might be in a
honest.
civil war.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Don't say anything about your game unless it's gonna be releasing within the next 24 months. I'll give you 2 years, right? 1 year to kind of hype up, a year to market the game. I'll give you that. Other than that, I don't care. Don't tell me. We've been knowing GTA 6 was coming out for fucking 6 years, and it just I'm gonna be honest, yeah, I'm excited for it, but we like every year it was all about,
Now, we've
we're
known
gonna get
GTA 6 coming out for like 13 years. They were always going to
well,
make a next one.
well,
No one ever
exactly.
doubted
But I
it.
mean, well, yeah, I mean, but listen, man, you just never know. You don't do yourself any favors. But to be fair, we're not privy to a lot of these interviews and what's asked, what's questioned. 'Cause, these articles, they don't really say what context is coming in. I'm pretty sure Kojima didn't just walk up to the guy and be like, yeah, the next game I'm making after Death Stranding 2, it's we watched 5 or 6 years or whatever. I'm
But the
pretty
thing
sure
is,
that
he
didn't
still
happen.
has that OD game to make with Xbox. So this isn't even the next one up.
I'll be honest. I don't think that shit ever gonna come out. That it's a cloud mobile it's a cloud mobile game, right? So that shit, I don't even think Xbox dudes was interested.
Jada, think about it from the perspective of the Xbox gamer. And this is what I mean by it's disrespectful to all gamers. You
Yeah,
see Hideo Kojima on a Xbox live stream. You are so
yeah,
excited. He tells you, I'm trying something new, something innovative, something I could only do with Microsoft. You're like, oh my God, we got the OG,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
And
then
he's like, no.
his next project is not only not that game, but it's on the
Yeah,
PlayStation side. It's
exclusive.
exclusive there,
Yep.
and it's coming out first. You know
Yes.
what this feels like? It feels like you go up to the restaurant, right? You
Yeah.
make your order and you stand by the side that like, hey, stand over there. And then you see 7 other people come through, make the order after you, and get their food first.
Yeah. Yep. That's literally what
And
it
you're
is.
just standing there like a muppet, like,
Yeah.
where's mine? That's
Well,
exactly what it feels like. And this is exactly what's going to happen with Fizint. There's no guarantee that Fizint is going to be his next project after OD. He
that's
could do
true. That's
another
true. We don't
game,
know.
you know,
Yeah.
and we're just going to be set here on the side being like, yeah, okay, Kojima, I guess one day you're going to serve us this Fizint we ordered. Like, yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
great. But in the meantime, I'm just going to watch everybody else get served. I'm just going to stand here in my little corner like I'm an Uber driver and not a customer. Like, bro,
Yeah.
all of these games that are being announced, shown, revealed, talked about,
Mhm.
even Project Gummy Bears. Like, bro, don't talk to me about your fucking gummy bears,
Yeah.
bro. Like, go do that shit on your own, and then come
Yeah.
out to me with an actual title.
I will say
Also,
this, and I
yeah,
I
go
will
ahead.
say this. I do believe these guys, like say what you want, right? Yeah, we don't know. We know that Sony first party studios, they're making something. We just don't know what the fuck it is, right?
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I would rather for them to just keep their heads down and work and don't say shit until it's ready than them to come out and tell me about the game, and then we don't see it until next generation. You see what I'm saying? Like that's don't do that.
Absolutely. It's the same thing with like Intergalactic. When people are saying like, "Oh, it's not next year," I'm like, "Boy, if it's not next year, there's a problem."
Yeah,
If
it should, because they
Intergalactic
was
doesn't
already
come in
working on it for 4
2026,
years. They
this
said,
is a fucking problem. I'm sorry. Then why did you reveal it? Because
yeah,
we didn't know what you were working on for a fucking like 7 years. We didn't know. So it's like one
yeah,
more year of not knowing wouldn't have killed us. But
yeah,
you come out and if you're going to tell me after you reveal it's still going to be 2-3 years away, then
yeah,
why the fuck did you reveal it?
yeah. And Neil Druckmann said yesterday that
He's working on another game as
they're
well.
working on another game that somebody
Yeah.
else is heading up at the studio. He's just going to be like a kind of like an overseer and manager, or
Like
Yeah,
whatever.
he's a producer. He's going to be a producer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of like with Guerrilla Games, with
Yeah.
Corey Barlog. Corey Barlog,
No, you may Santa
he's
Monica.
working on Sony Santa Monica. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, you asked Corey about that game, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, right? When it's ready,
That's exactly what they should
we'll
say.
tell you
That's
when
exactly
we're
what you
ready.
should say. I've never heard of it. That's
Yeah,
exactly what this company should say. Corey Barlog has
what
got
you
the right
talking about?
idea. Yeah.
yeah,
He's just like, who? Me?
yeah.
You know? Even God of War, when people ask him about God of War, he's like, God of War, never heard
Yeah.
of it. That's exactly what they should say. That's exactly what they should say.
I will say this. I thoroughly enjoy when not the leakers, not Jeff Grubb and the rest of those guys, not to just pick on him. I would rather the game be a surprise, kind of like Intergalactic. It was a surprise to everybody. Nobody knew. There was no leaker, no insider, nobody knew. I enjoy that. I enjoy the game to be brought to me in that term, because remember, they showed off in the Galactic like 2 months after they pinned Factions 2. So everybody was like, "Oh fuck, the Naughty Dogs," we were all fucking pissed, right? And then they came out and it's like, "Oh shit, this is what they're working on." So that means, if and they say that they were working on it for 4 years, so give or take, it's going to take them another year or two, whatever, to release the game. Okay, cool. I would rather my game to be released like that versus Jeff Grubb or the rest of those guys, Tom Warren or somebody, to come out and say, "Yeah, Naughty Dog is working on this game or whatever, and it's supposed to be about this and this." Like, I don't want to hear that shit, because that game could come out 10 years from now. I don't know. Like, I kind of don't like to know the inner workings and shit of a company. I could care less. If I can't put my hands on it within the next few years, it means nothing to me. If I can't add it to my wish list, it means nothing to me. I think I was more shocked and surprised about that. Ghost of Yotai coming through a state of play, us not knowing. Sure, we knew that they was working on Ghost of Tsushima 2, but we didn't know that they were going to drop that, right? And they just fucking dropped it. And it's like, oh shit, this is this, and like it's more excitement from that, because we don't have E3 anymore, because we don't have PlayStation experience anymore. I think there has to be some balance. I don't like the shit that's being leaked, right? All the stuff
And I
behind the
mean,
scenes that, like, for example, the company didn't want us to know about the stuff. Like, they canceled 12 games or whatever. Yoshida said, "We cancel fucking games all the time. Stuff, projects come on, and then we shelve it or whatever." Like, that's not supposed to be public facing. That's just behind the scene. We got other stuff that we move stuff around and we shift depending. And so I understand that, as a businessman, but it's messy when your stuff behind the scenes come out in public, because then us gamers will take that for face value and then go on a tangent and be outraged and stuff like that, when it's like, guys, still out. We're making games when they're ready. Some shit. Hey, the shit looked like it was shaky. We scrapped it. We moved on to project number 2 or project number 3 or something like that. It's just some stuff. Let it be a surprise, man. Like when Wolverine come out, I know it's not ready, but when it's ready, it's going to be probably in the state of play or probably at the Game Awards or something. That shit is going to be fire. But I want them to surprise me with it.
I mean, take a look at what you mentioned, Ghost of Yote. That was announced in September 2024. The release date right now is for October 2025. That's 11 months. Sorry, that's 13 months, right? That's 13 months of,
within that.
that is perfect. That is perfect, because when you know that when you first see it and you're excited, you are about to get it. I always say to people, like, imagine if you went to a restaurant and they gave you a menu and you found an item on that menu where you were really excited. And then you're like, oh, let me order that. And then like, yeah, sorry, that item isn't available until next year. Yeah. You'll be like, why the fuck did you show me that on the menu
Exactly.
then? Like, why am I seeing it if it's not available until fucking next year? Not even next week. I can't even come back here next week. You know?
Yep.
Like,
you remember Little Devil Inside? They showed that trailer. I was so fucking excited about it. I started following it on Twitter.
I completely forgot about
watching the YouTube videos. And look, that game
out of all the games, and that's like an indie
Project
game.
Awakening. Project Awakening. They showed us that last generation, right? And we're like, oh shit, that's Pragmata. That was supposed to be like, what the fuck? Capcom is released
supposed to be a launch title. Yeah, Capcom has been like, hey, Monster Hunter after Monster Hunter after Monster Hunter.
Resident Evil. And
we got priorities.
Yeah, so
which is like, Monster Hunter.
What's the purpose of showing us anything if we're not gonna fucking have it? Like, it just So anything that has the word project in front of it, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. Give me a working title. Give me a title that what it's gonna be, and let me wishlist the shit. Once I wishlist it, then I know, okay, it's in the store. It's just waiting to get done, and then I can pre-order. When it's time to pre-order, that's when it's on lock. It's locked.
Do you know what Pragmata is? Pragmata is that kid who is like, he normally doesn't play a lot of sports, right? So he's got a bad reputation for that. But one day they choose the sport that he's really fucking good at. So he's like super eager to be picked. And all of the team captains are just picking everybody else. Capcom is like, Monster Hunter World. And then Pragmata is like, hey, me, I'm good at this. And then they're like, Monster Hunter Wilds. And then he's like, hey, me, I'm good. I'm a good game. And then they're like, Resident Evil 2. And then he's like, hello, I'm right here. Resident Evil 8.
You remember Deep Down? You remember Deep Down? Still waiting on that shit. What the fuck Deep Down there? That was another Capcom game that was supposed to come out.
Oh my god!
With the dragon and the fire.
Deep Down. Why you brought that? Why did you?
You telling me Capcom
why you brought that up? God, Capcom be vaporwaring the fuck out of games.
Oh my god! So I'm never getting Pragmata. I'm never getting Pragmata. That's what you're telling me.
They know how to vapor. You know what's funny? And they know how to get away with it.
They get away with it.
They drop a Monster Hunter. That's it. Yep. They drop a Resident Evil, Street Fighter, and then maybe like a Marvel Capcom remaster or some shit, and then boom, that's it. All is forgiven. You know,
damn.
You know, at least they're giving us Onimusha.
Yep.
Again, that's another one they picked over Pragmata. Right? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Pragmata is the dream.
They did the remaster and a new game. They got a remaster and a new game. So you're right. You're not getting Pragmata, dog. You're not getting Pragmata. That's like that. Good. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy. What's the term you use? What you call us? Road mapper. I'm glad you were a road mapper. I am happy for you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I feel like this is lost on the side. Yo, what am I getting this game?
They dangled that carrot or lost on the side for years, bro. But I will be rewarded. I will be rewarded.
Yeah. And I just say Intergalactic is good, right? Intergalactic is
2017. 2017.
Yeah, that's right. Last year. Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
And we were podcasting with K Mega and Poster. That's how long ago that was.
Yep.
You know, D-Mac still owed me $20 back then.
Exactly. But I will tell you this: that game looks fucking fire. It looks really
I know, man. It does. It does look fire.
Yeah,
so
I can't wait.
I'm waiting for it. Let me see some super chats. We got John Baptiste. He says, I'll even go further. God of War 2018 sold 20 million units, and they used the word attach rate to the point Master Spinner, a.k.a. King David, said it was a failure.
Yeah.
Yo, that is true.
He tried to say 20 million was a failure because of attach rate. 20 million. But a multi-plat sells 20 million across PC,
and it's okay.
PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, and PC. 20 million's fine.
Great.
It's just crazy, bro. It's fantastic. It's just, that's why I was like, this is all bullshit, bro.
Even with Clear Obscure, people are like 3 million copies sold. And I'm like, first of all, listen, Clear Obscure deserves way more. But 3 million is crazy that you guys are praising this game.
It's amazing. It's like 30 people.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing for a small studio, but in the grand scheme of things, people are like, this is where the AAA direction should go. And I'm like, what, you said 3 million copies?
No.
Like,
He's like, you got Emmys like it's the greatest game ever. Yeah, this is the future. Whoa, stop.
Yeah,
now you're doing too much.
Don't push it. Don't
ruin it. Just let it rock.
Just let it be. Let it be a precious gem, but don't pretend that the world's economy should be based on it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's not gold. It's not gold. Okay?
It's a sapphire. It's a beautiful gold. Sapphire. It's a sapphire. Beautiful. Leave it alone.
Beautiful. It's unique, but you can't base your economy on this thing. It's just like.
But they try now that one, and they do it all the time. Like there's one gem that comes out, and now the entire industry for road mapping. I'm like, some people don't notice. Some of these games are flash in the pan type games.
Exactly.
Enjoy it for what they are, but they're not the standard. They're not the norm.
The industry is going to make turn-based games. Like, are you serious? Like, I'm just like, can't you just take it for what it is? Is this amazing moment you didn't expect it? But don't pretend the next Ubisoft game. We're gonna break apart. We're gonna break apart Naughty Dog and make them into 130-man teams to make these type of games. It's all gonna be great. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Imagine if the next God. Imagine if in a Galactic was a fucking turn-based game. Just imagine. We finally get to play it. These dudes will fucking riot. They will fucking riot. Like, let's face it. Stop it.
Oh man, And here's the thing, like, and I said this, right? Club Score looks phenomenal, but it's not getting the ridicule if the studio was called Naughty Dog or Rockstar. It happens.
Absolutely.
Depending who makes the game is the level of expectation and quality and also the nitpicking. They are not Rockstar. They're not Naughty Dog. And I know some people be like, what you're trying to say is because since they're not those studios, no one is going to look at their games with that expectation of a Rockstar game or Naughty Dog game, or Santa Monica game, like certain studio, or even CD Projekt Red. Guarantee CD Projekt Red made that game. There'll be a whole different discussion. People will look at it. Still probably be good, but there's going to point out a lot of things that they expect from CD Projekt Red. There's going to be things that CD Projekt Red brings to the table, and they're going to say it's not there in this game. And it's going to be a negative thing. All CD Projekt Red, when they did Witcher 3, you were able to do this and this, but they made this game. You can't do that.
My God. For example, very small thing. Like I said, there's only like 10 side quests in the game, right?
That's all right.
Could you imagine?
Oh man, so no.
CD Projekt Red when the side quest isn't the main quest.
There's only 10? That would have been a huge hit on that game. You're right. If there's only not a lot of side quests and they released that game, that would have been one of the first things. One of the biggest hits is very little side quests. CD Projekt Red is known. The side quest is just as good as the main story.
Yeah,
they would have gotten
better
flack
than the main story even. Like people still talk about the Black Baron quest. Like people still talk about as if it was the main quest of the game. Like So
you're right.
Like what save Siri? Nah, that baby though.
and I'm not saying that's wrong or right. I'm just saying that's how it is. Some studios built a reputation, and now that's their standard. And when it's missing from the game, people will hold that game, will critique it. So if CD Projekt Red would have made Clear Obscure, there would have been a different outlook. Probably still would have enjoyed it, but people will point out things that you're not pointing out now because that's not an expectation of the current studio. But it is an expectation of CD Projekt Red.
Even the small things like the gamma was wrong in the game, right? The gamma just basically changes how overexposed or underexposed like the scene looks. That wasn't set correctly in the game. Like from a technical perspective, it was easy to adjust because it is an adjustment, but the default value was bad, right? So then there's areas that look way too dark. Like there was areas where I was like, I can't see shit, right? The intention is for it to be dark, but it's basically a black screen, and I'm playing on an OLED. So if it appears black, this shit is like, I'm not helping you. I'm black. Like I'm not. I'm not doing shit for you. You're getting no pixels out of me, you know? And then I had to go and adjust the gamma again specifically for that part because and it was an optional area, right? Like a small little thing. But from a Naughty Dog, that technical polish cannot be missing. You know, like people talk about the hair physics in Clear Obscure, and they're like, "Oh, the hair physics are great." I'm like, "That garbage. What are you talking about? They are garbage hair physics. The hair itself is, you know, it looks nice enough, but you're not going to talk about the hair physics. Like, what are you talking? Again, people take this game, and this is what I mean by the way, people, if you haven't played it yet, I'm sorry, it's too late, okay? Because the nitpicking is going to come out, right? Listen, it's a great game. It's a fantastic experience, and what it does completely overshadows all of its faults. But I'm not blind to his faults either, right?
It's still I remember
there. It was like when Final Fantasy 16 demo first came out, and then there were people on the PlayStation side defending it, being like, "Oh no, the game isn't as bad or as blurry as it seemed." And I'm like, "No, this shit is a blurry ass fucking mess." You know, and then people are like, "Oh, it's your TV." I'm like, "I have like a $4,000 TV. What the hell are you talking about? Like, you're messing with the wrong one."
You think I got a Zenith? The hell is wrong with you?
I'm like, what? You know,
yeah,
like,
when I saw Rebirth,
I have one top of the line TV, you know, and then when the Pro came out, the same people are like, "Oh my god, it's so much sharper now," and I'm like, "So you see, it was Vaseline before. Why couldn't you have just said it then?"
I said it from the start, man. Final Fantasy Rebirth on performance mode. I'm like, what the fuck, Square? Like, bro, man. I'm like, oh my god, I had to play that game on the Pro. I'm so glad I waited to play on the Pro because it was so much better. Because it was either that or play on 30 FPS because that was the only mode that had clarity. But Square Enix, I said before,
quality mode. I played in quality mode. I was not playing.
That's because bad, right? That performance mode was like, man,
I was not playing
like,
God, shit.
Like, whoa, shit.
It was
like,
awful.
Yo, but that's all Square Enix, man.
It was the first game where I switched from quality to performance on the PS5, and I was like,
a big difference.
This is
bad.
unacceptable.
It's a bad drop off.
It's unacceptable. Like, you couldn't even see the faces. I was like,
bad.
It was garbage.
It was bad.
You know?
It was Square Enix.
And then they tried this weird thing where they were like, "Oh, do you want performance sharp or performance?" I'm like,
"Oh,
no.
They changed it. Performance sharp. I'm like, I just got the Pro. I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get a Pro.
Just like, get the Pro. I'm not playing onto the PS6. I'm not doing that.
Listen. Let me get let's see, we got Gordo P23. The fact that many people aren't playing Doom on a service they already pay for tells me that the Game Pass number is either not what Xbox said it was, or people don't know they're still paying for it. That could be potentially true. Like, I could say this, I would not be, you know how they said that Xbox is a good entry with Xbox Series S and Game Pass, and you could give it to your kids and they could play games. I actually, while in the big numbers, like world global numbers failed, obviously it didn't do that. But in the smaller niche market, I do believe there are people who did that. They bought an Xbox Series S for their kids and just gave them Game Pass. So now these 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds are playing it, but they're not playing the Dooms in the South of Midnight, all this stuff. They're playing whatever the fuck. They're playing Fortnite, really, because you need online, right? You need Game Pass for online. So they're playing Roblox. Fortnite.
Well, Fortnite is
they're probably not even playing Game Pass. Really, Game Pass is just the online. They probably just have it for the online rather than the Game Pass, because you know how they changed it, right?
No. It's free to play. They said there's an exception, just like on PlayStation. A free to play game doesn't need the requirement for online.
But some people don't. You'd be surprised. Some people don't know that.
Oh, yeah,
there's a lot of casuals you'd be surprised how many casuals that parents. They think they need online for Fortnite. They don't understand that, no, it's free. You don't really need it. So they get Game Pass because they know it comes with online, and the theory, 400 games, so they're thinking, oh, my kid's going to play all these games, and the kids don't actually don't.
That's true.
They're probably playing, like in their mind, my kid is playing 400 games, but the kid is just playing Skyrim.
Hey, do you know what this is?
That's it.
This is?
Doom comes out, the kid don't care. They don't care.
This is the library. Do you remember library cards? You know, when people used to actually go to libraries? You know, and then they would get the kid the library card, and then it's like, look, how many books you have access to. And they were thinking to themselves, like, oh, these kids are going to just go to this library and explore all of this literature, all of these books, and read all of this great stuff for free. And really, the kid is just going online, you know, at the back, and he's just going to play games on like freaking I don't even know like he's just going to play RuneScape or something at the back of the computer. He's not going in the library to read. And that's what Game Pass is. Game Pass is like, oh, you have access to all of these amazing games. Pick whatever you want. And the kid's just like, yeah, Roblox, thank you. And that's what I'm going to do.
I used to take out my girlfriends and we go to the hour we know nobody goes to pick books and we just make out.
Wow.
We know nobody goes to this. Ain't nobody coming to this out to pick books. So this is
you're like the encyclopedia. The encyclopedia is where the spot.
Ain't nobody comes here. Ain't no way. Like you see the dust on the shelf. Ain't nobody come here to pick a book out. This is the makeout spot.
Oh man. Oh man!
Oh shit!
Now we know.
Oh man! But that's a good point.
Those library cards were for love. They were there for love.
That's it, man. They were great hangout plates. Oh man, there's a lot of hidden spots in the library. Oh, even the librarians don't even know certain spots existed. Oh, Glassdoor Gamer.
Know not to go there after school. They're like, hey, listen, teenage love is good, but I don't need to be a part of that.
Oh, Glassdoor Gamer. It says Astrobot is charting again. Is it really? Did they release the? Yeah. I gotta. Oh yeah, the MPD should have came out by now for April. I gotta check it out. I gotta look up to it. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for the super chat on that one. All right. So I think we covered all the great topics. All right. Hey, I'm gonna get starting back on chapters. So I have to get started back on that. I've been lazy over the last couple of weeks, not adding chapters. So sorry about that. I apologize. I will get back to that now, to the chapters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to close out the show, but please hit the like button before you step out while we do our outtakes with, Extreme.
Yo, listen, rum and raisin ice cream is amazing.
Oh, my God, bro. Yo, J-Dog, this cat eats rum and raisin ice cream.
What?
J-Dog, you are a refined man. Tell him how good it is. Tell him how good it is.
What the hell?
This motherfucker's a pirate, bro. What the fuck?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This motherfucker's he's a Somali pirate.
Do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? In the last video, the comments.
Even Jay was like, "Oh man." Hey, Jada, what's your favorite ice cream?
Buttered pecan and Rocky Road.
Thank God you didn't say chocolate. Thank God. Wait, do you like chocolate ice cream?
Huh?
Do you like chocolate ice cream?
No, not really.
Thank God. We can be friends.
Okay. No.
Oh, man. I was worried about that.
No.
I was worried about that. There we go. Yeah. It's disgusting. Say it.
Rocky Road
Say it,
is the only
chocolate ice cream is disgusting.
I don't.
There you go. Oh, thank you. Right, there we go.
Let me ask you this. If you had to choose, gun to the head, rum and raisin or chocolate?
Oh, chocolate all day, brother. Chocolate all
day. Oh, my God. Take the chance on me.
Gun to the head. Gun to the head, baby. Gun to the head. He said, give me that chocolate punani.
That's crazy.
Listen,
man.
I gotta take a trip down to Australia, man. I gotta see what the fuck y'all doing.
Hey, what the fuck is happening down there? I'm telling you, bro.
You should
when I saw the toilets roll backwards, I knew this was the devil's playground.
Yeah.
That shit don't make sense.
Hey, what part of Australia are you in?
I'm in Melbourne.
Okay, Auburn. Okay. Melbourne.
Please stop
what is it called?
Melbourne.
Auburn?
Melbourne.
Oh, fuck me. There we go. I just knew it. You can't.
I know, but listen, we speak American. He's from Melbourne. So just pick Melbourne.
He's from Melbourne.
My God.
Okay.
See, J-Dub understood.
Please don't.
Okay.
I'm from Victoria. That's the state. There you go.
Okay.
It's the state of Victoria. We can say that.
Okay.
It's like a fucking 23-hour flight from here, man.
It's fucking crazy.
J-Dub, use your private jet. Come on. You're not using a commercial airline.
There's not enough fuel. There's not enough fuel. There's not enough fuel in that sucker.
That's 7 hours for you.
He's gonna have to make a pit stop to Guam. He's got to make a pit stop to Guam before he gets there.
Use your private jet, okay?
He's gonna have to go. He's gonna have to fly to Cali, to Hawaii, to Guam, Thailand, and then Hawaii or some shit.
That's only because he's trying to taste good food along the way. Okay, he doesn't get served on the plane. He just goes down to different locales.
That is a long
Hey,
flight.
J-Dub,
I mean, that's
J-Dub, why you pretending you ever took a flight longer than 10 hours? Why you pretending, J-Dub? Why you pretending? We all know.
they don't have the Concorde no more. Them planes don't exist. You know, they shut that shit down. J-Dub's like, what?
Facts.
I can't go to New York to LA in an hour. What the fuck is you doing?
Listen,
fuck the windows. Blow all them shits up as you fly by.
Oh man.
Oh man. All right.
Listen, what's that? Is it a B-22 stealth aircraft? That's what J-Dub uses.
This guy says he's on B-22.
Yeah, so there we go. The F-117 Nighthawk.
Yeah.
That's what he uses. That's what he uses.
You know the plane that the Qataris gave the president for $400 million. The first one was given to J-Dub. He's like, "Hey, we offer here. You get the first one." J-Dub got the first one.
Listen,
the president got the second one. He got the first one.
That plane is a prototype for J-Dub's plane. That plane is a prototype. That's the testing. That's a testing bed.
Shit.
J-Dub is like, I'm gonna have Air Force 2.
Yeah, the royal family of Qatar hooked J-Dub up. Painted in PlayStation colors. It says no PS6 on the tail light.
Could you imagine?
In PlayStation colors. All right.
Hashtag no PS6.
Oh shit. Hashtag no PS6. Oh shit. All right, brother. All right. So besides rum and raisin, that nasty ass shit
for you guys on this wonderful channel, and I need more rum and raisin converts. I definitely will be making.
They're gonna put you in a room. Like, you keep mentioning that rum and raisin. They're gonna be like, enough.
Man. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know the good. You know?
God, that's so disgusting. That shit don't even sound right. Rum and raisin.
Listen, it's one of those things that doesn't sound right to you
that's like the worst
try it.
My God, that's like the worst combo one ever.
Listen.
That's
when
like
you have that shit, it's going to reveal. It's going to reveal things to you.
That shit sounds like mayonnaise and strawberry. Oh my God, that shit don't sound right.
Mayonnaise and strawberry. That doesn't sound right.
Exactly. That's the same shit. Rum and raisin. Oh man.
No. Let me put you on game. No,
we don't want to see it, man. No, you're gonna. No, I'm not doing that. That's gonna flag my channel. They're gonna demonetize my channel. Hey yo, J-Dub, what's going on, J-Dub? J-Dub, keep talking, J-Dub. We gotta go. I gotta hit him up. He wants to demonetize my channel. I'm gonna get a community strike showing that rum and raisin shit.
Listen, he had me at the raisin ramen whatever. Yeah, he had me at that. I'm done, man. Oh man,
I'm sure he said that day it was over. Once he said rum and raisin, like, all right, time to wrap this show up. Time to wrap this shit up.
Like, you guys just need to expand your horizons.
Oh man.
You need to expand your horizons.
Hey,
that's what
would you do? What would you do, Jada? You flying first class. You're like, oh, we got a dessert, and they give you rum and raisin ice cream. Like, you firing that whole crew. Yeah, like, yo, you jumping out the plane. Give me a goddamn parachute. You jumping out the plane.
In your life. The best ice cream of your life. That's what you're about to do.
What is this, Frontier Airlines? What the hell's going on here?
Yes. Oh man.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna go make my own rum and raisin ice cream from scratch.
My man flying on Spirit Airlines with that rum and raisin. Exactly. Jada's like, what the fuck is this?
Oh man.
Look, I'm telling you.
Y'all know where y'all can find me, man. Y'all can find me
absolutely
on Twitter at JDubCity16, man. Trying to keep you guys laugh with all the posts and all debates. You know what I'm saying? I posted some anti-Nintendo stuff today and this morning, and I muted the thread, and I just checked it a while ago. It did really well.
Nice. Oh man, the instigator, the antagonizer in chief.
Thanks.
Oh man, all right. Anyways, you only friend is YouTube Street Porter Rock 77. Another episode down to 60 frames, no lag. Thank you so much for rocking. I'm glad you're able to stick around. There'll be no Friday Night Live this Friday because I'll be up in San Fran, celebrating my daughter's birthday. So we're all gonna meet up there. We're gonna spend the weekend up there. Okay. Yeah, So my wife and my daughter were all gonna meet up. Well, me and my wife flying up there, and my daughter will meet us in the evening, and we're gonna spend the weekend out there. So hopefully we don't get robbed. Or I don't know what's going on. San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So, probably do Alcatraz tour.
Yeah. The Fisherman's Wharf. Go get some grub down there. And
okay, yeah. We're gonna do some good stuff, Sightsee, yeah.
Listen, if you do decide to get pizza, don't just get margarita. Okay, you got to leave it up.
Oh, listen, man. Listen, you don't get to teach me about pizza. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Australians don't get to talk about that. That's not a thing in Australia.
We have Italians here. Okay, listen.
Okay, like that. I don't know.
Good.
I don't know why they flew in the wrong direction. I mean, did they try to pull Christopher Columbus and try to find a faster route to America? No.
Listen,
and they ended up in Australia. America, like, okay. No, this is not America. This is Australia, mate. Sorry, mate. Well, we'll make pizza here with kangaroo cheese. Cheese coming from kangaroo milk. Oh, imagine
the people of the podcast. Ramen raisin ice cream. Do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Man, I'm losing subscribers. Every time you say ramen raisin, I lose 2 subscribers. All right, guys. You guys take care. We're out of here. Peace.